The following is a presentation of WCTV Sports.
To Explorers of Hudson. Hello again, Mike Gelking here, along with my partner Robert Rickenbacker, and we are delighted to be home finally after a few weeks for the first 5 games on the road for these Grizzlies, and we welcome Grizzly Nation and our friends of the Explorers to WCTV. Robert, the Grizzlies are playing at a high level thus far in all 3 phases of the game. They're averaging 49.2 points per ball game and 54 points over the last 3 games. Defensively, the Grizzlies have allowed just over 10 points a ball game. The O-line has opened up gaping holes for running backs Gavin Madigan and Cooper Gray, and they've given freshman quarterback Bryson Hall plenty of time to scout the secondary and to pick his open receiver. Hall, in week number 4 against Twinsburg, going 23 of 30, 237 yards, 5 touchdowns through the air.
As a freshman, Mike.
As a freshman. Defensively, the Grizzlies' D has pitched 2 shutouts, technically, in the season opener at Barberton. And then in that Medina contest where their only score was on a pick 6 by their defensive end. And Robert, this one looks to be a great night for football in the Suburban League.
Absolutely. Hudson is always a well-coached team. It's a great rivalry here. And this may be our first test of the season, really, for coming into tonight's game. Hudson's a well-coached team. Thing about rolling, this team has been rolling. You know, not quite tested, but we're averaging almost over 500 yards of offense per game last 2 games. We're scoring over 50 points, as you said. We have not punted in 2 complete games at all. And we were talking earlier, in every part of the first 5 games, they've had a running clock at some point throughout the night. You know, offense is playing good, defense is stellar. You know, lights out. Special teams has some quirks here and there, but that can be worked out yet. Awesome. But tonight's going to be a test. It's going to be interesting to see how we shake out and happens. I don't think it's going to be a running clock tonight. I don't think.
Well, you know, we certainly said that against the Medina Battling Bees that came in here to Art Wright just a couple of weeks ago, and actually in week number 3, Robert. And this Hudson team graduated 23 from last year's roster, so they're a young team. We're going to look up front offensively for the Hudson Explorers. They've got a big offensive line, and they're very talented on the left side of that offensive line with big Jake Clapper, 6'3", 280-pound senior. Big guy.
Big guy. Numerous D1 scholarship offers, and he's committed to West Point, the Army Cadets. Can't ask for anything better than that. Obviously, he's a very intelligent young man and a good athlete. You know, God bless the young men and women who go and join our services. But yeah, he's a very talented individual.
Yeah, he plays at a high IQ in that offensive line. Jackson Babitsky also on that left side. Parker Jenks at center for the Explorers. Finishing out the offensive line for the Explorers, Andrew Lanham and Otto Grill. And when you look at the quarterback matchup tonight, Bryson Hall, the freshman, who has got a tremendous football IQ for such a young kid, great poise in the pocket for the freshman. And then you have Nathan Judy, the quarterback for the Explorers, the 6'4", 215-pound junior. He's a very physical guy, and believe it or not, folks, he plays linebacker too for these Explorers.
Last year was a starting linebacker.
Yes.
Now we'll see him on the defensive side. This not every series, but he'll play both ways. They got a great running back too, and Reno Ferry, a great running back. Some local college football players may recognize that name. His dad's on the sideline as one of the coaches of the Akron U Zips. But, yeah, he's a sophomore, but a big young man. We're going to see a heavy dose of that tonight with especially as much wind. And, you know, right now we're near 80% chance of rain at kickoff, they're saying. But it's very gusty here tonight. In fact, we got our window slightly shut here because of the gusts blowing everything around.
Yeah, we talked about Clapper on the offensive line. He also will plug things up in the middle for this Explorer defense, and his job tonight is to really slow down that offensive attack of the Grizzlies, hitting the gaps and plugging those holes, but also bringing pressure on the freshman Bryson Hall.
Yes. And who has not seen a lot of pressure yet. And, again, we're going to see how the Grizzlies, I think a big key tonight is how the Grizzlies react when they do get punched in the mouth tonight. They will get punched by the Explorers. There will be a little blood. It's going to how they're going to react to it. Are they going to keep their composure, their discipline, and how quickly they can right that ship after that happens.
So let's set up this real quick. This Grizzly offense as we're just about ready to get underway here in what is expected to be a fantastic football game in the National Conference of the Suburban League. The Wadsworth Grizzlies, 15 of the last 16 games, have rushed for more than 200 yards. In 16 straight games, we have thrown for over 100 yards. This is a tall task for any defense to take on this Grizzly offense because there are so many weapons.
Right. Are you defending Hall and passing? 5 touchdowns in the game he had against Twinsburg, or the I call lightning and thunder in the backfield with Cooper Gray and Gavin Madigan. Who are you going to cover? And so he's got a lot of weapons to Hudson's got to defend tonight.
Yeah, we talked about thunder and lightning, Madigan and Gray in the backfield, but you've got 4 to 5 receivers that Brayson Hall will find. Calix Lemp, Frank McNeil, Tommy Honan, Jacob Ernest, and there you go, the freshman warming up now on the sideline. And folks, we had some technical difficulties earlier. We do have our video back in the booth, so thanks to John Bernard and his team for correcting those technical errors. But Calix Lemp is the number 1 target for Bryson Hall. And last Friday, was the first game in which he did not get a touchdown pass.
Yeah, and there's a big reason why is because Hall is spreading the ball around too.
Yep.
I mean, yes, they ran the ball a great deal, but he's spreading the ball around. What we see 7, 8 different receivers per game. That's incredible. And on top of that, Mike, you made a great point earlier. Was not only are they spreading the ball out, the other receivers are doing such a great job blocking for the person who's catching the ball. And it's just not Tommy Hahn running down the field or Lemp running down the field, no one blocking for him. His fellow receivers are doing a wonderful job getting in front of the defender, putting their body in front of him, and giving the crease to get down that sideline.
Yeah, this is all about team effort and teamwork here tonight for the Grizzlies as we are getting ready to kick this one off. Jack Dinwiddie last week at Brecksville, as I was telling you earlier, put 8 of them through the end zone for touchbacks. And this kid, when you have a kicker that can put the ball in the end zone and put your opponent starting at the 20, what a valuable tool in your arsenal as Wadsworth makes their way through the Suburban League.
As they predicted, it is starting to rain again. Kickoff. There's the kick deep into the end zone.
Yeah, that one halfway through the end zone off the foot of the senior, number 42, Jack Dinwiddie. And special teams, big for the Grizzlies all year long. We'll get our first look at this Hudson Explorers offense. Again, the big front line with Jake Clapper, 6'3", 260 senior. The junior at left guard, 6'3", 265 senior, Jackson Babitsky. Parker Jenks, the 6'1", 240-pound senior at center. Right guard, Andrew Lanham. And right tackle, Otto Grill.
I love that name, Otto Grill. It's just throwback sound.
Judy in the shotgun, and next to him on his left hip is Reno Ferry, the sophomore running back. They'll give to Ferry. Left side, stacked up, stopped by that Grizzly defense.
No gain. Stopped by a host of red jerseys there from the number 21, I think it was, for the Grizzlies there. Holler from the secondary spot, a freshman.
Yeah,
Grizzlies.
Jude Holler's been playing outstanding in that secondary for this Grizzly defense. And again, as you just mentioned, a freshman. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 11 now as we are just underway. If you're just joining us, Mike Elkins along with Robert Rickenbacker.
Got trips to the top of the screen.
Here's Judy now, back to pass, looking left.
He's got time, plenty of time. Now rolls left.
And he's going to be pressured and get rid of the football. And the pressure came from that right side. And it looks like it came from 55. And that's Bryce Bolchek. And Bryce, an honorary captain here for the Grizzlies based on his performance last week at Brecksville.
You can hear the wind coming through the booth here. It is quite breezy, and I wonder how much that's going to affect the quarterback's throwing tonight.
Well, that's at Hurricane Helene, the remnants of it, making its way up here through northeast Ohio. All right, so we did close the window. Judy will roll to the left. Throws. And pass is incomplete. Coverage on the play.
Incomplete.
Is by Luke Maddox, and that will force the Explorers to punt on their first possession. And that's exactly what you drew up as a defensive coordinator for the Grizzlies.
And it didn't seem smooth. It seemed a little discombobulated, the whole 3 plays there. It just didn't seem Hudson Explorerish, if you will.
Well, you got to give credit to that front
Yes.
3 of that front, really 6.
Grizzlies up here, they're trying to block it. Gets a high kick up, lands at the 50, and goes out of bounds. So Grizzlies starting with great field position with their first series.
And that's been a theme all season long for this Grizzly offense. They really have had a short field to work with.
They've been lucky, not lucky. I can't say that. Won't say that. That's discrediting. These guys have played hard all year long, offensively, defensively. What's even better, and Coach will tell you this, they work harder in practice than they do out here. They work hard, and I've known Coach Todd now for 9 years being around the program, and he's in love with these kids. These are coachable kids.
Here we go. 1st and 10 now for the Grizzlies on their own 47-yard line.
Got Madigan behind Hall. Madigan with the carry. Met quickly in the backfield for about a 2-yard loss, so he'll come up.
Yeah, well read by that front 3 of that Explorer defense. And big number 65, Jake Clapper on the stop for Hudson. And
Grizzlies quickly back to the line of scrimmage.
That's a rare tackle for a loss.
And once again, Madigan stuffed for another 2-yard loss in the backfield. They're just coming right through. That's something we haven't seen so far this season.
Obviously keying on the junior running back who's had a fantastic season thus far.
We have trips to the top of the screen. I see Ernest is in the middle at slot. Reese Simmons, number 88, is at the bottom of the screen, split out. Madigan to the right of Hall now. Hall in motion. Thrown back to Reese. He's got a nice little receiver screen behind his blockers. He picks up a good chunk of change there, maybe about 10 yards. Going to bring up 3rd and long 4.
Yeah, I think you go ahead and I would say kick it, and they're going to go for it. That was Simmons' 5th reception on the season. So that brings up a 4th down and 4.
Empty backfield. Ernest at H-back.
Yeah, something Bryson Hall's been great at all season is getting the defense to jump. Now he's just going to pooch punt it.
There he goes.
Nice kick.
Nice kick. No one back deep. Can it die? And it does take a Grizzly bounce back. Oh, did he slide, get his feet? Looks like maybe they're going to make touchback. Did he slide into the end zone?
He did mark it at the 3. You see the marker down on the field at the 3-yard line, and a great job by Bryson Hall, the freshman quarterback, just turned punter on the play with a perfect spiral punt and kicks back before going into the end zone.
It pins the Explorers back deep on their 2nd possession tonight.
So we'll get a second look now at this Explorers offense again. Hudson coming into Art Wright Stadium at 3-2 on the season, losing their first 2 ball games of the season. As this time we're going to get Judy under center, and he'll just plow through.
Does pick up a big chunk of yards, pushing him out of the end zone line.
As the rain continues to fall here in this opening quarter. Good gain on 1st down. Yeah. 2nd down and 3 now for the Explorers.
Here we go, same formation, foot to foot.
And Judy will just plow his way, just follow his center and his guards on either side, and that'll be close to a 1st down. I believe they're going to mark it short of the marker, the yard to gain, 3rd and short.
Nope, they did go ahead and tell the chains to move.
And then 2 quarterback, we'll call it 2 quarterback sneaks deep in their own territory. And Wadsworth, we'll see if they stack the box here, fill the box, as it looks like Hudson's going to come back out, Robert, and have those tight splits up front.
You've seen the early adjustments. Hudson coaches are seeing what was going on. Now they're back to regular splits.
Reno Ferry to the left of Judy. Handoff to Ferry's going to be stopped in the backfield. Another tackle for loss there for the Grizzlies defense.
Getting up from the bottom of the pile is Ernest, number 6 for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, Jacob Ernest, another one of those guys that plays both sides of the ball for the Grizzlies. Usually in the slot receiver on offense and linebacker here defensively.
He's a big young man. He's a junior. He's 6'2", 225. He's a load at a slot receiver.
Came into this ball game with 36.5 tackles on the season. This is Ferry again off the left side. He gets to the edge and turns it up and gets enough for a first down for the Explorers in front of their bench as he's taken out at about the 30-yard line of Hudson. That'll be good enough for a first down. No flag on the play. So Hudson with their second first down of this drive.
You see quickly how quickly Reno Ferry gets to the outside there. He's got some speed.
Well, and he also shows a little bit of patience there, allowing those blocks to set up. You see how deep he gets the ball in the backfield.
And he kind of gets hidden in there. He's only 5'8". All the linemen, the shortest one is 6'3". So Hudson's Explorers line is tall. He's short and kind of blends in under there.
And we got a whistle, and we'll sort this out. We got a delay of game. False start, I beg your pardon. False start on Hudson. And
they'll make it 1st and 15.
We talked about, before we went on the air here tonight, Robert, about expecting Hudson to run a lot to the left side. That's their experienced side. That's the side of Jake Clapper and Jackson Babitsky. Of course, Parker Jenks, your center. And it's been run left dominant for the Explorers. And just as I say that, they're going to RPO and go deep, and it is incomplete. Pass is intended there for Castellarin.
Just overshoots him by about a step. Did have some time.
That'll bring up second down and 15 now for Hudson.
From their 22-yard line.
Yeah, as we talked about earlier, Hudson has not only improved defensively in each of their 5 ball games, but offensively they've been able to put more points up on the board, especially over the last 3 games. Handoff, Reno Ferry left side, and he is swarmed under by the Grizzly defense.
Nice
no
job.
Secret there.
Probably a loss of a 1 probably there. We'll see it bring it up a 3rd and long, 3rd and 18.
Yeah, I think he lost more than just 1.
Yep.
He lost 3 on the play. As my partner said, 3rd and 18 and another long 3rd down for Hudson, and this is exactly what you want if you are the Grizzlies.
You know, Bryce Polzak's at the left defensive end. Number 3, Troy Myers, is at nose at the moment. And I think Zach Wise, number 5, is at the other defensive end spot for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, one of the things they'll switch Myers and Wise, and here's Judy. He's flushed out of the pocket, pressure coming in, he'll go down with a sack. Is Bryce Polchak.
Bryce Polchak, number 55 for the Grizzlies, getting in there and bringing them down.
That is Bryce's 6th sack on the season and leads this Grizzly defense with 6 sacks on the opposing quarterback, and that forces the 4th and long now, 4th and 28. And Wadsworth again looks at really good field position to start their next offensive drive.
You know, the Hudson Explorers will be punting 7 yards deep in the end zone. Kick is away. A low driving kick. Reese Simmons running back to get it. Simmons gets away from it, lets it roll. Lucky roll by the Explorers. Down near the Grizzly 32-yard line.
Yeah, that was, one might think that was a returnable punt, but once the ball hit the ground, Reese does the right thing. Don't pick it up. You're risking a fumble and then giving an opportunity for Hudson to have great field position on a potential turnover there.
Especially when it's slippery and wet out there right now. Absolutely no reason to take a risk. So the Grizzlies coming in for their 2nd offensive series. We got Cooper Gray checking in now. We got 2 receivers each side, with Gray in the pistol behind Hall. Ernest in motion, left to right. Gray with the carry, right up the middle. Just maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Hudson's clogging that up quickly.
Yeah, on that time, they brought big number 62. That's Parker Jenks, the linebacker from his left side. to make the tackle.
Limps in the slot. Top of the screen there. Gray with the run off to the right, and he is stacked up and driven backwards. They will give him 1 yard gain on that.
Yeah, that's Nathan Coates on the stop, coming in from his linebacker position there for the Explorers. And Wadsworth with 3rd and 8. This is something we haven't seen a lot of, Robert, out of this Wadsworth Grizzly offense, 3rd and long. And this is a key for Hudson if they're going to steal a victory here tonight at Art Wright, is to keep Wadsworth in 3rd and long.
Hall looking over to the sideline to get the play call from Coach. Gray now lining up to the left of Hall. Ernest in the H-back to the left.
They got Luke Maddox on the near side on, looks like one-on-one coverage.
Pitch to Gray to the left side. Gray trying to line up his blockers, but he's tackled after a short gain. He's going to bring up 4th down.
Cavalcanti on the stop for the Explorers, and Wadsworth in rear position again, 4th down and 5.
Hall stays on. Well, I'm assuming he's going to step back and punt here. It is 4th down and 5, so he could be trying to draw him off, but I don't think that's what's going to happen here. He's going to step back and punt it, just like he did last time. Hudson does have a punter back on the 30.
Yeah, we got a timeout on the field. Coach Goff will call timeout for Hudson with 4:04 remaining here in the first quarter, and it is scoreless. And you got to tip your hat right away to this Hudson Explorers defense. They found a way to shut down Madigan and Gray thus far.
Very quickly. So, it's the chess match. Now let's see what Coach Todd does here. You're seeing some things being changed around, seeing what's going to happen. Are they going to rely on Hall's arm? And are you going to put this early test on the young man's shoulders here? And you may have to get it quickly out to the outside to loosen up that defense a little bit.
Yeah, we haven't seen a play action here from this Grizzly offense. This is not the time to do it at 4th and 5 on your own 37-yard line.
Again, the wind is gusting. It's going left to right. You're not exactly sure what's going on with the wind, and it's wet. So that may be playing a factor.
So back deep is Anthony Palucci of the Explorers in the event that Bryson Hall does kick this one away with 4:04 left here in the first quarter coming out of the timeout.
He does slide back, look like he is going to punt this. Punt is up and high, but not a deep one here. Fair catch called at the 35. So Hudson will take over for their 3rd offensive series on the 35-yard line. Great field position for them.
Yeah, just a 23-yard net punt off the foot of the freshman Bryson Hall. So a defensive struggle, or really it's been dominated by the defense.
Yeah,
I shouldn't say defensive struggle. It's been dominated by the defense here early on between the Explorers and the Grizzlies. And this game is won in the trenches today.
Look at the size of that offensive line. Nice, big young man there. Like I said, they're 6'3". And I think if I added it up right in the average, it was 255 across the front.
3 receivers to the right side. Now the Explorers put one in motion. Judy will give to Rini. Rini cuts it up and his hit hard for a gain of about 1, maybe 2 on the play. And Jacob Ernest in there. Also in there is Sean Kincaid.
Ernest from the right side, Kincaid from the left side. Excellent job.
That's a pancake tackle, buddy. Yes. Yeah, here we go. 2nd down and 8. They'll give him 2 on the play.
3:32 on the clock for the first quarter. Hudson's got 3 receivers to the bottom of the screen. He trips.
Judy will give to Reno, and he'll go off that left side again, and he's going off that hip of Jake Clapper on the left side, the left tackle of the Explorers, for a gain of about 2.5. That'll bring up 3rd down and 5 now for the Explorers. And now you got to be careful here on a jet sweep potentially, because Hudson has always been going to the left side. I got 3 receivers to the lower part of your screen.
Hudson looks over to their sideline to Coach Goff and see what the play call is. And good. That's 6'4". Judy is 6'4", 215, junior.
They'll throw to the near side, and it's incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down and 5 now for Hudson. That is only the second attempt by Judy. Both fall incomplete.
Good shot of Coach Todd in this 9th season here at the helm of the Grizzlies.
And Hudson will decide to punt this one. We talk about good teams and great teams, and you hear some of the Wadsworth players say, good teams win on Friday night. Great teams prepare to play great on Friday night. And both of these teams, as you can see, they have really prepared very well for this football game.
Flag flies, punt is away.
McNeil on the return for a short return of about 5. We do have a flag on the play, and I believe it's going to come back. It might be motion on the Explorers.
You are correct, sir.
So we'll see what Coach Todd does, if he's going to take the result of the play and decline the penalty.
Interesting chess match. I love this.
So we'll see if Wadsworth comes out. We haven't seen Bryson Hall drop straight back for anything deep over the middle. We haven't seen play action yet. 2:19 left here in the opening quarter, scoreless opening quarter. Again, the Grizzlies at 5-0 on this season. Hudson at 3-2. This is a big game for the Explorers, as a win here, gives them a ton of computer points.
Yes, and it's important. We're only going to get computer points from Hudson and Nordonia this season. So these are 2 big games. Madigan takes the handoff right up the middle, spins out of a tackle, still on his feet, still fighting.
Jack Dressler will force Madigan out of bounds, and that's the Gavin Madigan that this Grizzly Nation has been so accustomed to seeing over the last couple of years, especially this season.
Grizzlies back to the line of scrimmage really quickly. Madigan behind Hall, calls for the ball, throws quickly off to the right to Lemp. Lemp catches it, but Hudson Explorers right on him as quickly as he catches it and brings him down, I don't think for maybe a loss.
Yeah, it's going to be a loss of about 3 on the play. That'll bring up, or 2 on the play, bring up 3rd down and 5. And we talked about that earlier, about Hudson can jump that route if it's there.
You can see it, how it's pouring rain right now. It's raining, then the wind will gust up.
3rd down and 5 now for the Grizzlies. Another 3rd down situation. Ernest in motion to the near side. And there's that cadence by Bryson Hall that almost got the Explorers to jump.
So let's see if the offensive line with Jordan Jones, Brady O'Connor, Merritt Fortner, Gabe Lucky, and Eli Kaufman can get something going here. I see a timeout's called by Coach Todd.
I like the timeout with 1:02 left here in the first quarter. Your 3rd possession, your 3rd down. You haven't got a 1st down yet, and this is rare territory, right, for this Grizzly offense. It's usually we've got 7-14 points on the board,
or close to 28 in this manner. But yeah, good. We thought it was going to be a good game coming in. Hudson's a good team. Yes, they're 3-2 on a 3-game winning streak, but they've had some injuries. They've played some good teams.
Yeah, I mean,
Highland.
You look at them. Highland at 5-0. They lost that game 31-24. You talk about a tough assignment coming right into week 1 is playing the Highland Hornets. And we talked earlier, the American Conference of the Suburban League is going to come down to week 10, Highland and Aurora.
Yep. I don't know who you're rooting for there, Mike. No.
Well, that's my alma mater. Yeah. I've got to go with the Greenmen. Yes, sir. We've got video up in the box, in the press box. John Bernard spinning his magic.
The field camera's got a good view down the field.
Unfortunately, we don't see any stats up on our video feed here in the booth. 3rd down and 5 coming out of the timeout.
Madigan to the left of Hall.
Now Hudson looks like they're going to bring pressure.
Hall rolls left. Throws deep. He intended for Ernest, who catches it at the 30-yard line.
On the coverage was John Plaskonik of the Explorers, and what a catch there by Jacob Ernest.
We were talking about playing baseball. He looked up there, and he looked like he's fielding that. Excellent job. Way to look that into his hands.
Ernest's 10th reception on the season.
Madigan with a pitch to the right, trying to right. Look at that line move after he hits it.
Well, this is the Grizzly offense that when it gets into a rhythm, Robert, it's tough to stop. And they're finding that rhythm right now. A couple of big gains now with less than about, just around 30 seconds left in the opening quarter of this one at Art-Wright Stadium. Zach Wise, we see Zach Wise. He plays nose, defensive end, and receiver for this Grizzly football team. We talk about this team is loaded with athletes.
Young athletes, too. Not a lot of seniors on this Grizzly team. Wise in motion. Madigan has it right up the middle.
I think he might have got enough for the first down. I look at the official on the far sideline, and he is marking it short at the 10. He's got to get just inside the 10. And that should do it here in the opening quarter at Art-Wright. Scoreless, Hudson, Wadsworth in a National Conference Suburban League battle.
It is a battle.
Yeah.
It is a little fist fight right now. And like we said, who's going to make the adjustment? Who's going to get back to their composure? And who's going to make the adjustment? And Grizzlies have made some offensive adjustments. They've gotten some rhythm now, but you just see the rain pouring down here.
3rd down and 1. Robert, coming out of the timeout, what do you expect to run here if the Grizzlies, for the Grizzlies?
I think it's going to be Madigan to the right. It looks like Eli Kaufman is to the right now.
Mm-hmm.
They've been moving around. They got Jordan, number 51 on the left.
Jones, yep.
Eli Kaufman, number 66 on the right. I think they're going to follow the Marshall recruit. You forget about Eli Kaufman. He's a great recruit as well. I think they're going to follow him to the right. And let's see what they do. Hudson Explorers did the first 2 series. Were diving through those holes. Some adjustments have been made. Let's see what happens here.
Well, I think what happens is a linebacker on the defensive side, when you have to face Gavin Madigan, play after play after play, he will bruise you. He will beat you up. And you might get a little shy. So we'll see what Wadsworth does here if they give the ball to Madigan off the right side and if the Explorers bring their backers. This is a physical football game here tonight, folks.
Physical game. And Hudson, I've never seen them back down. They've played some big games in the past against us and others.
Here we go. 3rd and 1 from the 10.
Madigan just behind and to the right of Hall. Ernest in motion. Madigan with the carry right up the middle. He has to pick that up. It looks like they've given that to him.
Yep. Yeah, his momentum will get him to about the 7-yard line. That'll be a first down. And goal now for the Grizzlies. Checking in for Hudson, linebacker Jack Dressler, number 5. Middle linebacker for the Explorers.
Madigan to the right of Hall. Hall keeps it, rolls right. Tackled just as he gets to the 5-yard line. Tackled by number 5.
That's Dressler just checking in.
A 2-yard gain by Hall. Madigan to the right of Hall. 2 receivers to the top of the screen, 1 to the bottom. Madigan. Hall keeps it right up the middle, and he scores. Grizzlies go in and get 6. Bryson Hall, not known for running. In the last couple plays, getting some carries.
Now a couple of big blocks on that play. Number 1, Jacob Ernest. That was the first big block. He wears number 6. And then 54, Brady O'Connor with another great block, leading the way for Bryson Hall into the end zone. And Jack Dinwiddie now on for the PAT. Holding is Kyle Schmelzer.
A good shot at the student section in their neon tonight.
Why not? A lot of work taking place down on the field, and the snap is bobbled. Schmelzer will go down, and the PAT is a failed attempt, and you can imagine the ball's wet, everything's slippery. Schmelzer, first time in a ball game here tonight.
And that was getting right across the top of the grass. He did the right thing, pick it up and go, and couldn't make nothing of it. But Grizzlies do lead 6-0.
And that's a big play,
yes.
Simply because we had the opportunity before the game to watch Hudson's kicker, and he was kicking them from 50 yards. And with the wind that we have here at Art-Wright Stadium tonight.
Hudson Explorers has always had great kickers. They have 3 on their roster, and I was looking at the roster, and been around 9 years with these Hudson Explorers. At one time, their roster were near 100 kids, and they were in D1. there's boys have grown, got a little smaller counts, and they have 55 kids, and 2 of them being kickers, which is unusual to see on the Hudson sideline.
Was it 2019? We went up to Hudson in that game that ended at the last second, a 45-yard field goal by the Explorers.
Phenomenal game. It did not end up the way it should have been for the Grizzlies. And I think that broke the Grizzlies' win streak, too. It was almost
it did.
2.5 seasons of
As I said, this is both programs well-storied, talented programs, physical programs, and the Grizzlies lead at 6-0.
Jack Dimway getting ready to kick it off at 11:13 left in the second quarter. Kick is back. Taken and stepped out of bounds at the 5-yard lines. A mistake by the Hudson Explorers. Now they throw the flag and say it went out of bounds.
Yeah, he caught it, and he stepped, I believe, out of bounds. We'll see what and Coach Todd's going to question this on the sideline. He's calling the referee over, and he caught the ball. He didn't let it go, and we'll see what the interpretation here is.
And I thought he caught it and stepped out.
Now he's going to call illegal procedures, what he called on the field.
I think that's a mistake there. Not having the replay here to see that. I thought he caught it and then stepped with his left foot out of bounds. That's what it looks like from here.
Yeah, he caught the ball in play. His foot might have been out of play, but he caught the ball while it was in play inside the boundary marker.
I don't think his left foot was down when he caught it, and then he stepped down out of bounds. So that's not what I would have. Oh, well.
Here we go. First down and 10 now on the 35-yard line of the Explorers. Nathan Judy and the Explorers looking to get into the end zone and at the minimum tie this one up. Reno Ferry in the pistol. Motion away. Judy rolling right. Pressure coming by Jacob Ernest. Judy flies. It's intercepted. Gavin Madigan cuts back. Madigan bowls over a Hudson Explorer defender, and he's down at about the 15-yard line.
He ran over number 4, Zargis.
That is Madigan's third INT of the season.
I think he was thinking touchdown on that. There was a Hudson Explorer, number 4 there, that saved that touchdown.
45, about a 40-yard return for Gavin Madigan on the interception. Sets up this Grizzly offense in great position. First and 10 now on the 16-yard line.
First real mistake by either team here tonight so far. So we got 2 receivers each side of the field for the Grizzlies. We got Gray in the pistol behind Hall. Hall thrown towards the end zone. Caught but out of bounds, intended for, I think, was Lemp, was it?
Yeah, on the coverage there, looked like number 8, Joe DiMalanta. The fine corner for the Explorers over there.
That went to number 4, Luke Maddox. As rain is just pouring now, as you can see from the camera view there. The wind is now shifted. It looks like it's coming from the south, where it was coming from the north earlier tonight. Hand off to Gray, cuts back up, gets just to the line of scrimmage and taken down.
Yeah, Coates on the stop for the Explorers from that linebacker spot. Calix Lemp, he'll check into the game.
With Reese Simmons as well, checking in.
Third down and 9 from the 15-yard line. 3 receivers stacked to the left.
Pitch to Gray to the left. Has some running room. Looks like he was close to the first down marker.
Yeah, they're going to mark him short, and I thought if he went a little wider, he might have had that alley to get the first down and perhaps into the end zone.
Gray checks out. The bruiser, Gavin Madigan, steps in. Thunder.
Yeah, this is a kid that can wear down a defense. 4th down and 2, and
big 4th down here.
This tells you the type of weather conditions out on the field is we're not sending out Jack Dinwiddie for the field goal at 4th and 2.
Madigan right up the middle, picks up the first down and more. Down to the 2. He hit that hole quickly.
First and goal now from the 3-yard line for Wadsworth. And again, this drive started after the initial kickoff was ruled out of bounds after the Explorers had caught it, illegal formation, and then Gavin Madigan with a big interception.
Big interception. Judy rolls right, has some pressure. Yep. We're going to have a procedure penalty called on the Grizzlies here, moving back 5 yards. Still first down. But it's going to put the ball on the 8-yard line, I believe, once play resumes.
And we would normally have replay up here, but we've been battling some technical difficulties all night. We've got a blank monitor in front of us.
Madigan with the carry, trying the right side of the line, picks up a few yards. Close to the 6-yard, maybe around the 6-yard line here.
Zach Wise will check in for Jacob Ernest.
9 minutes and ticking on the second quarter clock. Still got Madigan behind Hall in the pistol. Hall looks over to the sideline for the play call. You have 2 receivers to the top of the screen for the Grizzlies, and number 14 for the Grizzlies at the bottom, which is Jack McNeil.
Dressler bringing pressure off the far edge.
Madigan pitched to the right to Madigan. Madigan down to the 1-yard line.
Good play call there as Dressler giving away the pressure on the right side of that Explorer defense. We go to the left side of their defense off our right side of the offensive line. Ball placed at the 1-yard line. This is Gavin Madigan time.
Right behind Eli Kaufman.
Yes, sir.
Big number 66 for the Grizzlies. As I said earlier, he's got a D1 scholarship and from Marshall, who he's accepted from.
Yeah, behind him and O'Connor, and he's going to be stopped.
It was
Madigan.
I don't know if some kind of exchange issue. And instead of fumbling it, they both held on to the ball to make sure they had it. It looks like Jack Dinwiddie going to come in here and try for 3.
Parker Jenks on the stop for the Explorers after the bad exchange between Bryson Hall and Madigan.
You know, last on the extra point last time, the snap back to the holder skimmed across the grass.
This is a 21-yard attempt by Dinwiddie.
Snap is back. Kick is up.
And is no good.
No good. The first. Which way did that go? It looked like it went
wide
to the right.
Yep. Wide right. Dinwiddie misses.
So the Hudson Explorers dodge a bullet there.
Oh, yeah.
And defensively, they did a nice job. They gave up some things. Some penalties hurt the Grizzlies there. Now, here we go. Let's see what Hudson can come up with here now. See if the defense can get another turnover. You know, Hudson had come in to this game with 10 turnovers created already this season.
Yes, yeah. And for the Grizzlies, in terms of turnovers, they had created, 5 interceptions on the season. We've got 1 tonight, so 6. And we got a couple fumble recoveries as well as a defensive unit. Here we go. 1st and 10 now for the Explorers. And we've got a whistle and a stoppage of play. I guess they're just getting a play clock reset. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line of Hudson.
7:10 to play in the second quarter. Grizzlies lead 6-0.
Judy will give to, he'll keep it and go up the middle, and he's going to be stopped by the Grizzlies there. It looks like the stop is going to be made by Gavin Madigan from his free safety spot.
And he upended him, too, big time. I saw his feet go up in the air.
2nd down and 6 now for Hudson.
Nathan Judy may think twice about running that towards the number 2.
Madigan came into this football game with 36 tackles on the season. He's a busy free safety. 3 receivers to the top of your screen. Reno to the left side of Judy. He'll throw it to the right. Pass is caught and quickly.
Tackle looks like maybe a 2-yard gain.
Looks like Christopher Horner on the reception, number 13 of the Explorers. That'll bring up 3rd down and 4 now for Hudson and Nathan Judy.
Looks like number 4, Luke Maddox, was in on their tackle. He come up shaking his hand, as maybe got stomped on or something, one down there. Hopefully he'll be okay. He's still in there.
Folks, we had a number 40 check in for Hudson, and we do not have a 40 on the roster, so we apologize. We don't have a name.
The question is, if he gets yardage, does that not count for him? We don't know who he is.
2 receivers to the lower part of your screen. Reno. The ball's faked. Judy will keep it, and we'll see where he marks. Do they mark it? He's close, and they're going to wave the chains, and Hudson with another 1st down. Well, Hudson's ground game really is Nathan Judy.
Right now. Yeah,
right now it is. And we've done a great job of keeping Reno Ferry contained, and right now the majority of the ground game is from the quarterback, Nathan Judy.
You've seen some changes. Reno had a couple runs. They stopped it. Now they're coming back trying to, loosen up the defense by running up the middle.
3 receivers to the lower part of your screen. They'll give to Reno.
Left side.
And this is where Reno can be very, very dangerous if he can square his shoulders and run downfield. But he stopped for a gain on the play of only about 3. 2nd down and 7 now for Hudson.
5 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. Both teams have their 2 timeouts left yet.
Zach Wise at the right end now on that Grizzly defense. Sean Kincaid in the middle. Looks like Bryce Polchek on the left side as well.
Number 3, Troy Myers down in the middle as well.
Yep, Myers at nose. Here we go. 2nd down, 7. Hudson, 3 receivers to the top part of your screen.
Judy quickly throws off to the right. Yep.
And
wow, that looked like Madigan coming up and hitting him first. Broke the tackle of Madigan, if that was. And I believe that was Madigan who came up.
Gavin Madigan on the initial contact. Short gain on the play. 3rd down and 4 now for Hudson. 4:15 remaining here in this first half, where the Grizzlies lead it 6-0.
Yeah, pardon us. Not only do we not have a monitor here to see replays or anything, but the rain coming down with the lights, it's hard to see what's going on the field at the moment.
2 receivers to the bottom of your screen, 1 to the top of the screen. Judy in the shotgun, he'll throw. Right side, ball is incomplete. Nope, they're going to say he caught it. We got one official saying a catch, another one saying incomplete. The middle judge is going to call it incomplete, and that will bring up 4th down and 4 now for Hudson.
And say even if it was called a catch, it was short of the down marker. Brings up 4th and 4. Grizzlies defense still playing very tough tonight.
Yeah, this is just a well-coached defensive unit. They're very physical. They fly to the football. They're very fast, and they get rid of their blocks. They like to plug up the gaps and make tackles. 4th and 4 now. The
bad snap. Ball is dropped, and the punter just gets hammered.
And Frank McNeil will receive the punt and return it for about 2 yards.
Hudson punter number 83, Katz. The ball, he dropped the ball didn't get back there, and he just got crunched.
Again, you got a wet ball, a wet turf, and tough handling the ball. If you're on special teams here tonight, we've seen it. The Grizzlies on their first PAT after the touchdown run of Bryson Hall.
3:36 left in the half. Grizzlies lead 6-0. 2 timeouts for each team. The Grizzlies are in great field position. Plenty of time to do a nice march down and stick it in the end zone before half.
Yeah, this has been a constant theme of this Grizzly, and you have to give credit to that Grizzly defense for allowing this great field position all season long. And what can Bryson Hall and company do now with 3:36 partner remaining?
Good shot of Hall. Hall takes a snap. He's going to throw. Looking deep. Almost picked off by number 1 Inamorado. Intended receiver was, I believe it was number 14, Jack McNeil.
Inamorado coming from that free safety position, really playing center field and watching the eyes of Bryson Hall. Good play by the young man, the senior defensive back.
Brings up 2nd and 10 for the Grizzlies. Hand off to Gray, right up the middle. He's got some running room. tackled after looks like about a 7-yard gain.
Yeah, on the stop is going to be Kyler Boyle, the junior for the Explorers.
It's going to bring up a critical 3rd down, and it looks like 4 yards. Hand off to Gray, who I don't think he made it back to the line of scrimmage before being tackled there.
Yeah, big number 62, Parker Jenks of the Explorers, just bursting through that line and making the stop, a tackle for a loss. That'll bring up 4th down and 4 for the Grizzlies. And Coach, what do you do?
4th and 4, you're leading by 6, just a little bit under 3 left. I think you kick this deep and let your defense keep you in the lead.
Now, Coach has got 2 timeouts left. He may let the play clock run all the way down. Call a timeout, and I believe that's what he's going to do. And then out of the timeout, will likely come out and punt the football.
Your defense is playing lights out as usual against a good Hudson Explorer team. Pin him back deep, see if you can get another turnover, and try it again.
Yeah, and then Wadsworth in the 3rd quarter will get the football to start the 2nd half.
Yes.
So I think this is the right call. Burn some time off of the clock, bring your punter out, and try and pin the Explorers deep. And as we said, this defense has been outstanding, both defenses, the entire first half.
A good shot at number 26, Cooper Gray walking away. Number 51 there, Jordan Jones. Number 66, Big Eli Kaufman.
In other action tonight in the Suburban League National Conference, Nordonia and Twinsburg taking each other on. These are all national conference games. Stowe and Brecksville, North Royalton in a non-conference game at Padua in the American Conference, Talmadge and Revere, Aurora and Cuyahoga Falls. I think the Greenmen have that one.
Yeah, maybe.
Barberton, and then Copley at Talmadge, Stowe. We talked about Stowe and Brecksville. So here we go, 4th down and 4.
Interesting. We checked Madigan in. Cooper Gray stayed out. Madigan is in the pistol behind Hall here.
Well, I got to wonder if they're going to run or they're going to go right side to the short side of the field. You got Frank McNeil, and here comes Madigan. Now we have an empty backfield, I believe.
Ernest slides over to the right too. Now, yep, he's back to punt it. Punt is away. Nice punt. Hits the ground. Rolls. Picked up and dropped again near the 1. Makes a couple Grizzlies miss. Still on his feet. Tackled after he crosses the 10-yard line. That could have been disastrous for the Explorers there. Grizzlies did a good job covering it. Hudson takes over at their 10-yard line with 2:13 left in the half.
Yeah, you have to wonder, had he let that ball go, would it have just skipped into the end zone, and then Hudson gets the ball to 20. Nonetheless, ball is placed at the 12-yard line, 1st and 10, 2:13 remaining. And, it's been a tough go for this Hudson offense here tonight.
Tough go for both offenses actually tonight. You got to wonder if the weather's a little bit of a factor. These are 2 good ball clubs here. 2 good, well-coached teams.
2 receivers to the lower part of your screen. Nathan Judy in the shotgun familiar. Reno off to the left side. He's going to be swarmed under by a host of Grizzlies.
He got turned back. Kincaid came across. He was deep and forced that back up into the line of scrimmage. Did a nice job.
Let's see. Yeah, who else was in there? Number 6, Jacob Ernest on the stop. Coming up off the bottom of that pile, Troy Myers in the middle, Zach Wise to the right side, Bryce Polchek with those long arms. That's your left end. 2nd down 11 after a tackle loss of 1 yard. 2 receivers to the lower part of your screen. Reno Ferry to the right hip of Nathan Judy. As the clock continues to run, 1:31 remaining now in the first half. Reno now to the left side. Handoff. Nope. It will be a keeper by Judy up the middle. And again, that's the only running game that they have tonight thus far.
And I think Coach Todd would be fine with that if that happens all the rest of the evening. But timeout is called.
Yeah, let's see. I believe it was Wadsworth didn't call the timeout.
Yeah, because it brings up 3rd and 7. As you got a good shot of Coach Todd reminding the kids what they need to do here. Don't jump off sides. Don't give them free 5 yards.
Yeah,
3rd and 7.
Talk about being disciplined. This has been all season long, a very disciplined football team in terms of penalties.
Yes. Early in the season, you're going to have some of that, but last week I think I saw 2 penalties all total. Week before they had a little bit more, but again, they're just getting better and better.
We haven't mentioned his name tonight, but a guy that's had a great season thus far at the linebacker position is Bowden Bollinger.
Yeah.
Bowden's had a tremendous season at that linebacker position. 24 tackles on the season coming in.
He's a sophomore that's 5'11", 205.
3rd down and 7 for the Explorers. Ball at the 15-yard line, and we've got a whistle. And we're not sure what's going on, folks. I wish I could tell you. Now we're going to start play again. We're ready.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was about, but okay.
There we go. I think they're looking at the play clock.
Okay, here we go.
There we go. Reno Ferry. And the ball will be kept by Judy as he spins his way up the middle, just past the second level near the 20-yard line for a short gain. So that'll bring up 4th down, and I would imagine that you want to run the clock down if you're Hudson and go ahead and kick it away.
Kick it away. Now, again, right now, Wadsworth used their only timeout, the last timeout, so we will have no timeouts. So they're trying to, like you said, burn up as much clock before they punt that thing away. I don't think you take a delay of game, though. Not here. This is 4th and 2. They're not in punt position. That's surprising. I would have to think they're going to slide him back and let him punt.
Yeah.
Oh, there it goes. There's a timeout.
He did call a timeout with 31 seconds left here in the first half, and what has been a defensive dominated first half, and we did expect the defenses really to show up here tonight.
I did. I'm surprised how the offensives on both sides have struggled, but hey, it's when you get tested, you never know what's going to happen. This is excellent.
Yeah, and I think the weather has a little bit to do with it tonight. A lot of rain early on in the first half. Hopefully in the second half, we get a camera shot of the folks upstairs bringing you all of the action here tonight at Art Wright Stadium. Joanna had stopped by earlier. Did she have the rain jacket on?
No, I don't think so. It's funny. Every time she films, it rains here. I don't know what's going on with that.
We'll have to have a meeting with Joanna here after. We'll do it at halftime.
Yeah. Joanna got her. The weather forecasters. We know when it's going to rain. She comes.
Oh, well, no, Joanna is wonderful for
Yes.
WCTV. If anyone knows Joanna, she's just a joy to be around. So, Joanna, if you hear us, thank you for everything that you do here for WCTV and the community.
Well, we're lucky. The community is very lucky to have the programs that we do have. Okay, here we go.
And it looks like Hudson will come out, and they will punt this away. And back to punt is number 83, Ian Katz.
Remember the last time the snap was disastrous for them? Did not go well for them.
And we got Nathan Judy also in there. And
high snap, ball's dropped. Grizzlies hammer him and take over on the 7-yard line with 27 seconds left in the half. Huge mistake by the Explorers there.
Yeah, that is something that if you are Wadsworth at this point, you have got to turn this into 6 points.
That's a must.
Yeah, this is 3 times now you've been deep into their territory.
And that was in his hands. He just dropped it.
So here we go. 1st down and 10. The ball is placed at the 10-yard line, I believe, is where it's at.
I thought that was more near to 7, but okay, we'll go with that.
So, Coach, you've got time here for 2 quick plays.
2 quick plays.
I would imagine that maybe you go play action on the first play, you line up quickly, and you hit the end zone.
Yep, you got Madigan in pistol formation behind Hall. 2 receivers to the bottom, 1 to the top. Someone went the wrong way. Hall opened left. Madigan went right. The tackle for loss. Clock is under 20 seconds and going. Quickly back to the line of scrimmage. Hand off to Madigan, trying the left side. Breaks one Hudson tackle, gets to the outside and out of bounds near the 3-4 yard line. So 2 seconds left in the half.
Yeah, that was, we're going to have a field goal attempt here, and you got to tip your hat to the junior captain, Gavin Madigan, who had the awareness to get out of bounds.
Yes.
If he does not get out of bounds, this scoring opportunity does not exist here for the Grizzlies.
And he fought every bit of it. He was trying to get to the end zone or get out of bounds, and he just did.
Snap is back. Schmelzer with the hold, and it's blocked. And it's picked up by Schmelzer, and he is
Tackled.
stopped at the 10-yard line, and that'll do it in the first half. As Robert, it has been quite the adventure here in the first half as the Grizzlies will go into the locker room 6-0.
And fortunate, the Hudson's very fortunate. It could be far worse than this.
Yeah, you would think it'd be 21-0, minimum at this point.
Hudson Explorers rose to each challenge when they were pinned back deep. Did a good job. Maybe miscues here and there for us, but hey, great game. We didn't expect this low of scoring game, but it is a great game nonetheless.
Well, we'll be back here at the start of the third quarter with all of the first half stats. We ask you to stick around here on WCTV. Enjoy the halftime show. Coming up next, the Hudson Explorers Marching Band, followed by your Grizzly Marching Band. We'll be right back here in the third quarter.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hudson City Schools is proud to present the pride of Hudson, the 2024 Hudson High School Swing Marching Band. Under the direction of Mr. John Rodish, Mr. John The production instructor is Lex Fuller, and the dance time instructor is Erica Gillespie. Our head senior squad leaders are Jack McCormick and Gabriel Scott. Tonight's halftime turns up to the sound of Superstardom. Yes, that's right. We want to see you through with some of your favorite pop diva hits. Just like a prayer, you know the Hudson Band will take you there as they open with the music of Madonna. day pop divas whose sounds and styles honor the iconic women who came before them. Singer-songwriter Julie is no exception. Next, we let the Hudson dancers take the spotlight for her 2023 hit, Houdini. The Hudson Band is nothing without its dedicated audience and exploration into our wonderful hosts here at Arkwright Stadium. That's exactly why we think you're beautiful in every single way. Featuring solo band band, here's our WCTV Grateful Band Christina Aguilera, Beautiful. Clock strikes upon the hour and the sun begins to fade. You're about to feel the heat with our version of Whitney Houston's I Want to Dance with Somebody.
direction of Dana Heyer, assistant Scott Formal, press director Ryan Louie, protect and arrangers David Selzer and Adam Quinn, color guard directors Jessica Corson and Vanessa Lloyd, and student teacher Sarah Plain. This is the 2024 Wadsworth High School Marching Band. On the field, the band is led by drum majors Jake Robach, Maggie Catafias, and Aaron Casey. Since starting her career on the children's show Barney, Demi Lovato has sold 20 million records. Jake Robach leads Lovato's Grammy winner, Confident. In 2013, 13-time Grammy winner Pharrell Williams wrote a song for the animated film Despicable Me 2. That received an Academy Award nomination for the Best Song of the Year. We are happy to welcome our 8th grade band tonight. Join the Marching Grizzlies as Maggie Catafias leads Pharrell Williams. Happy. Let's hear it, the Wadsworth 8th grade marching band.
million times. Tonight we feature our drum liners here, and Casey leads ABBA's Dancing Queen.
We hope you enjoyed tonight's halftime show. This is the Wadsworth High School Marching Band. Congratulations to Alexis Whitney. You are the winner of the Trillium Creek Dermatology TV raffle. You will be contacted via email to arrange to pick up at the Medina office. Again, congratulations to Alexis Whitney, winner of Trillium Creek Dermatology TV raffle.
Yeah, I have him here. Yep.
Welcome back to the booth here at Arkwright Stadium, as halftime show is just ended with two terrific shows from the Hudson Explorers Marching Band and your Wadsworth Grizzlies. Some numbers from the first half. We'll start with Hudson. 23 offensive plays, a net of only 28 yards, 16 carries for 23 yards. And I think we had Nathan Judy, 2 of 8 for 5 yards, 1 interception. Hudson has one play for greater than 7 yards, and that was a 12-yard run by Reno Ferry, and they've got 5 plays for negative. 5 of their rushing plays, negative yardage.
We weren't joking when we said it was a defensive struggle, but Wadsworth's defense is just dominating the Explorers.
Oh, they've dominated, the line of scrimmage, the second level. 16 rushing plays by the Explorers, 5 of them tackle for losses.
Yes.
Now for Wadsworth, 3 of 5 for 45 yards. That's Bryson Hall, 21 carries for 58 yards. Total of 26 plays by this Wadsworth offense in the first half, a total of 103 yards Now 38 of those yards were on the big play from Bryson Hall to Jacob Ernest.
Great pass and catch. Ernest looked it in. Beautiful. The story tonight, other than defense, is the weather. And special teams for us has struggled mightily. Missed extra point. 2 blocked field goals or a bad snap on one, and one was blocked. We've got to right that ship. We could be, a 14-point lead here. Here it's only 6-0. Grizzlies do get the kickoff in the second half. It's going to be huge to get just a nice, steady drive down the field and get some points here to get ahead.
Yeah, this is going to be a second half that if you can control, like Wadsworth has done, the line of scrimmage, but do a better job on special teams and get another turnover, I think Wadsworth is in a good position to win this. But you've also got some news, Robert, you want to share with those watching us on WCTV.
Yeah, absolutely. Tonight, Gary from the village of St. Edwards. Gary has been 35 years of high school athletic service. He's here living out a wish to support our Wadsworth Grizzlies here tonight. And we want to shout out to him tonight and the village of St. Edwards for making that happen.
Yeah. How many years?
35.
35 years. Here we have about ready to start here the second half. Ian Katz to get things started here in the second half. Back deep.
Good luck seeing that. Reese Simmons is one on the left. I cannot make out who's closest to us, though.
I think it's Frank McNeil might be out there. Folks, we apologize. The
amount of rain that's on the booth here, and it's still coming down. Kick is into the end zone. There's going to be a touchback. The Grizzlies will take over. Possession on the 20-yard line to start the second half.
It was McNeil, and also back there for the Grizzlies was number 9, Carlos Inestroza. Last week we thought we had one punt return for a touchdown. I thought Frank McNeil was going to return one, but he got caught by the carpet sharks over in Brecksville. Well, Coach, what's your halftime adjustment?
You got to figure a way to get the ball outside. The Hudson Explorers defense is just pinching down and jamming everything up in the middle. You got to find a way to get outside Madigan and pound it behind Ian Kaufman. Pound the ball behind him. Ernest in motion from right to left. Madigan taking it to the left side. Just gets past the line of scrimmage before he's taken down rudely by the Hudson Explorers.
Yeah, Dressler coming in from his linebacker position, hits the A gap, and Gavin Madigan goes left, and he's wrapped up by big number 64, Andrew Lanham, and also Parker Jenks.
They do give him a 1-yard gain, so it brings up 2nd and 9. Lemp in the jet sweep. Catches it out of the backfield on a swing pass. Hudson does defend it quite well. Short gain of maybe 4 yards, going to bring up 3rd and a long 5.
Castellarin and Inanamato on the stop for the Explorers. Yeah, 3rd and 5 now for the Grizzlies coming out, and we talked about at halftime and how important this opening drive is to put points on the board if you're Wadsworth.
Hudson showing blitz, dancing up to the line of scrimmage. Did they jump?
Yeah, Bryson Hall in that cadence, he's been so good at it all year, and that'll be a first down for the Grizzlies.
Take it any way we can get it. So it brings it, like you said, first down. Ball's on the 30.
Jumping there for Hudson was Parker Jenks on that right edge. The right end for the Explorers.
2 receivers each side. You have Lemp at the bottom of the screen in the slot. Now in motion. Hand off the Madigan right up the middle, and nothing doing there.
Well, coming in there on the blitz, again, the backer coming there, number 32, that's Cavalcante. I beg your pardon, Joseph Cavalcante from his linebacker position. Actually, it was both Dressler and Cavalcante on the blitz and stuffing the run. No gain on the play.
Inestroza in motion. Low snap, Hall picks it up off the ground, tosses. Ernest with a big catch over the middle. Reaches up with his hands and brings it in with another big gain for him.
That's a 36-yard reception. He's at 74. I did that quick math, my friend. 74 yards receiving on the evening by Jacob Ernest.
Pitch out to Madigan to the left. He's got some room.
And again, now you get a big pickup, Robert, on this offense, and they start to get into a rhythm. They're going to run guys in and out. Jacob Ernest will check out. Zach Wise checks in.
Deserves a big rest there after that big catch.
He's a linebacker. He's got some pretty good hands.
Yes, he does. Good athlete. Madigan's going to try to right side. Tackled near the first down marker.
Yeah, running behind the big right tackle, Eli Kaufman, short of a first down, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1.
Hall barking out, and up, turns around, looking for the play call. Wise in motion. Hand off to Madigan, goes to the right, gets the first down, but not much more.
They got 8 Explorer helmets near the football, and you'll see 3 or 4 of them get up off the ground, and Kevin Madigan will get up too. And
not a good sight.
Oh, that
Clapper.
is not a good sign for the big man, Jake Clapper.
Number 65 is down on the turf. He's that West Point commit.
On the initial contact there for Hudson on the tackle was 64, Andrew Lanham, the 6'1", 280-pound junior defensive lineman.
Let's hope it's just a bruise. Let's just hope that. You never want to see that. They're looking at his knee.
So in some action around the Suburban League tonight as we get a good look at that Grizzly huddle on the sideline. Good opportunity to coach the kids up. Nordonia in Twinsburg, of course, no surprise, the Knights are up 30-0 in that football game. Aurora up 27-0 in the second quarter as we see Mr. Clapper gingerly putting weight on that leg as he'll walk to the Explorer sideline. Not a good sign for Mr. Clapper. And Robert, as you had just mentioned, you know, the young man, he's a senior, 6'3", 260. Something you don't want to see.
Okay, Grizzlies back out there. 1st and 10, ball on the 24.
Mr. Clapper is a big, not only offense, a huge loss on the offensive line, but defensively it's even
big part of them clogging up the middle. Looks like Gray trying the right side and just gets to the line of scrimmage and slam back down. I see number 84 in there for the Grizzlies at tight end. Anderson Tetzel, sophomore, 6 foot, 155.
Brennan Funyak, we've not called his name yet today for the Explorers on the tackle there for Hudson. 2nd down and a long 10 now for the Grizzlies.
2 receivers each side. You have Ernest in the slot at the top. Hahn. Nope, that's Inostroza in motion. Number 9, thrown to Inostroza. Caught and tackled for a loss. Hudson Explorers defensive back comes up quickly and makes the tackle for a loss.
Yeah, that's John Plaskanek, the senior DB for the Explorers. Tackle for a loss puts Wadsworth in a long 3rd down situation.
This has got to be 2-down territory here. You're deep in Hudson Explorers territory. You have to get some points here. 3rd and 13. 7:50 on the clock in this 3rd quarter.
For Hudson to bring some pressure off the right side there. Dressler from his linebacker spot.
Draw to Gray, big hole, touchdown, Grizzlies, no penalty flags.
That's the counter tray we talked about at halftime, Robert.
Nice play call. That sneaks in once a game and it's big gain every time like that. Nicely done. And you saw Hall starting to roll right, and then that cutback, that was beautiful.
Well, the flow from the linebackers always to their left, to the right side of that Grizzly offensive line, and Gray with a wide open lane to the Grizzly end zone. Great play call.
So here we go. The Grizzlies are going to go for 2 to try to get up 14 if they are successful here. I believe that is Gray still in the backfield. Wise in motion, hand off the Gray right up the middle. He gets the 2-point conversion. 14-0. Grizzlies lead with 7:35.
I believe that's Madigan.
Is it, man?
Gavin Madigan.
Yes, sir, Gavin Madigan on the 2-point conversion.
I'm sorry.
Appropriately so, as he's wearing number 2 on the Wadsworth jersey. Well, what a big 2-point conversion. You're up 14 points now.
That's big. Very big. Now you got some luxury to grind this out, play your great defense you've got. Try not to have a special teams letdown anywhere, and go home with a victory, hopefully, tonight. Huge. It would be huge for these points, as we mentioned earlier.
Hudson looks as though they're going to be missing big number 65 on that offensive line as Coach Goff coaching up the special teams unit here of Hudson. As Jack Dinwiddie, who's been spectacular all season long getting these touchbacks. His leg has just got stronger week after week, and it looks like the wind may have slowed down a little bit. I beg your pardon. I think the flag is just a little too heavy out there on the flagpole.
A little soaking wet. Yeah. It's definitely still breezy. May have not stopped raining a little bit. Well, they did come out, score in the first possession. Big pass and catch by Ernest once again.
That ball goes through the end zone for a touchback.
And I'm just trying to see if Clapper is making it back out by any chance. Hopefully he does.
See, Andrew Lanham is in the huddle.
And number 65 is on the sideline.
Yeah, he's on the bench over there,
Bench,
so
yep.
we'll see who takes his place. He was at left tackle, so what they did was we got number 74. That's Jackson Babitsky at the left tackle position now.
High snap taken by Judy. Run right up the middle.
Yeah, initial contact there by Madigan. The cleanup on the tackle
Was Sean Kincaid.
Sean
I see
Kincaid,
number one.
yeah.
Number 1.
Also winning on that was Bowden Ballinger. Gain of 2 on the play, 2nd down and 8. Hudson taking their time getting the play in, down 14 points with 7 minutes now remaining here in the third quarter at Arkwright Stadium.
Zach Wise down in the middle.
Reno Ferry
Slide to the right now.
Reno Ferry to the left of Judy. 2 receivers to the lower part of your screen. And Judy will keep it, and he's going to be stacked up at the line of scrimmage. On the stop there is Sean Kincaid.
Sean Kincaid was on the top. I could not quite make it out. Was that?
No, that's number 6. That's Jacob Ernest.
He was. I think Ernest was low and Kincaid was up high.
Yeah, you are correct. Jacob Ernest actually got there first on the stop. Kincaid on the cleanup. Clock continues to run.
You would think there would be some urgency now to the Hudson Explorers. They've not gotten any rhythm at all on offense tonight because of the great defense of the Grizzlies. But you're down 14-0 with 6 left in the third.
Judy will look to his right, throw, pass is caught for a first down. And on the reception there is Castellarin for the Explorers.
It looks like number 4, Luke Maddox, on the tackle for the Grizzlies. He's right there after he caught it.
The rain continues to come down here at Arkwright Stadium, and that is the longest pass completion of the evening for Mr. Judy and the Explorers offense. Again, folks, Hudson started this second half with only 28 yards of total offense. Judy back to pass. He's going to go deep over the top. He's got a man. It's caught. On the reception is Louis Castellarin for a big play for the Explorers. And here comes Hudson.
Madigan with the touchdown saving tackle. 3 Grizzlies around that receiver.
Nice ball by Nathan Judy going over the top. Big gain.
So the Explorers are in business at the Grizzly 20.
In the pistol formation. Give is Torini. He'll bounce it to the left. and he's going to be fumble the ball. And it's picked up by Hudson. The Explorers recover.
He broke a big tackle at the beginning. Someone hit him early. He bounced it outside and then lost it at the end there.
Not sure if the hit came from Jacob Ernest or Zach Wise. Ball pops loose. It's a loss on the play. Second down and 11 now for Hudson. Ball at the 21-yard line of the Grizzlies. Judy rolling right. Looking. Right.
Steps up. Taking down just as he gets to the original line of scrimmage. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 10. He doesn't look comfortable, but then again, I wouldn't be comfortable against the Grizzlies defense right now if I was a quarterback either rolling out.
Now that defensive line firing off the ball, creating some chaos and havoc in the backfield. Short field now for Hudson, 3rd and 12 on the 22-yard line, 4:22 remaining here in the third quarter.
No doubt 2-down territory for the Explorers here.
2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Judy looks, throws over the middle, ball's caught.
Near the 10-yard line.
Yeah, it's Palucci on the reception.
And they are moving the chains. That was enough for the first down.
Just inside the 10-yard line, 1st and goal from the 9.
2 receivers each side. Carey with the carry right up the middle. Slammed down after he gets near the 6-yard line.
Troy Myers on the stop. Zach Wise coming up off the carpet, also on the stop. 2nd down and 6. 2nd and goal from the 6. And the Grizzly defense bow their neck and stop this Hudson drive. Judy in the shotgun. She'll keep it. Rolls right, throws, touchdown. Hudson.
Number 22, I believe, for Hudson with the catch, which Anthony Polchi. Touchdown, Hudson Explorers. So they're going to come on and try to kick the extra point, try to make it 14-7.
Well, Hudson not going away.
No, nor would you think so. Just because you're up 14-0, Hudson's again, I've said it many times, a well-coached team, great athletes. There's no give up there.
On for the PAT is Brad Masella.
Kick is up, and it is good. 14-7. Hudson cuts into the Grizzlies' lead with 3:23 left in the third quarter. Okay. Come out, both of them score on their opening possessions in the second half. Okay.
Well, you have to say that the halftime discussions were productive on both both ball
offensively,
clubs.
anyways.
Offensively, and but hats off to Wadsworth. They took a chance. They go over the top. They get the big play, and put themselves in a position to come within 7 points. Justin Todd, coaching up the special teams here for Wadsworth. You don't want to fumble this, right? You also, anything's possible. I always think about an onside kick in this situation, but the ball's wet. You kick it deep, and you try and force, if possible, a turnover. So you got to take care of the football if you're Wadsworth here.
Yes. Yeah. Number 14 for the Grizzlies are back. 14 and
Frank McNeil, I believe, is 14,
McNeil,
and number 9 back for the Grizzlies. That's Carlos Sinestroza. On the kick for Hudson, Ian Katz. Wind continues to pick up here now at Art Wright.
Kickoff is away. It's going to go into the end zone. Grizzlies will take over on the 20 with 3:23 left in the third quarter. So, coming out now, what do you do now? Again, I think you should still try to grind it out, try to get the ball outside.
Oh, I think you've got to continue to run off the edge and try and get Gavin Madigan and even Cooper Gray. When he gets to that second level,
outside,
he's just a tough back to catch up to because he's so quick. He's got great, powerful speed. He's a lightweight guy, but he runs heavier than his weight.
Right. He's so quick. It's so hard to get his hands on him, if he gets a running start around that edge. So the Grizzlies come out, 2 receivers to the right, 1 at the top. We have an H-back, probably Ernest. Madigan with a carry right up the middle. Is that Gray? Gray with a nice movement of the pile after contact.
So again, I still think that if we can go off that left edge or even the right edge, Hudson likes to bring their backside backer away from the play, but they're crashing in on play side, doing a great job. Showing blitz again.
Throw quickly off. That's a backwards pass caught by Hahn. A heck of a job catching that ball.
Calix Lemp on the reception.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
He reached back behind him. That ball was a lateral. It was going backwards when it came out.
Now that's a great athletic play by Calix Lemp.
That lost probably a 4 or 5 yards on that play. It's going to bring up 3rd and 9. Ball spotted on the 21 currently. Inestroza, Ernest going to the top of the screen with a trips formation. Ernest in the middle of that. Gray running out of the backfield. Hall had to pull it down. He had pressure. Tackled as he gets near the 25-yard line by the Explorers.
Yeah, Jack Dressler on the stop along with Cavalcanti.
Yeah, they were looking, Hall was looking right, but he had to pull it down. He had a Explorer right in his face, pulled it down, picked up 4, but it's going to bring up.
Yeah, we got illegal procedure call against the Grizzlies, and we'll see if Hudson will accept the penalty or the play.
I would think they would decline this. Make up. Let's see what they do.
They've declined it.
Okay. So it brings up 4th and probably 6. Definitely punt formation, I would have to believe here.
Under 2 minutes now remaining, third quarter.
Hudson has a guy back on the Grizzlies 45. Their own 45. Barely gets it off. It's caught by a Grizzly. That was partially blocked, but then caught by a Grizzly wideout. Let's see what. I don't think you can. You cannot. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't
I don't think you can
advance
advance that.
So who did it touch? I mean, it did touch a player.
But it's not like this is going to be an interesting call.
We'll see what.
This could be a big change of momentum here. Yep, they're spotting it up. They're spotting the ball near 33 of the Grizzlies.
Big turn of events now for Hudson as they're in terrific field position with 1:45 left here in the third quarter. And the Grizzlies defense has given up only 7 points the entire year here in the third quarter. Well, 14, including the 7 here tonight by the Explorers.
Hudson Explorers in a great position here now to field position to try to score. Judy dropping back, has got plenty of time. Now has pressure, and down it goes. Hammered by number 55.
That's Bryce Polchak, his team-leading 6th sack of the season.
Judy had a lot of time. Actually, probably too much time. Allowed Balzac to get there and hammer him to the turf.
Polchak with 2 sacks here on the evening, 6 on the season.
Marked as a 3-yard loss.
Blitz coming, and it's Bowden Bollinger, and it's going to be cleaned up.
But boy, he's continuously going backwards. He should have stayed down the first time he went down.
How about the effort by that Grizzly defense? Going their neck, Sean Kincaid, number 1.
That was huge. Gigantic loss.
Kincaid, the 6-foot, 215-pound senior on the stop.
That was a 14-yard loss on the play.
Well, that's a defense that said, no more.
No more. Was it wise? Almost had to tackle twice.
Well, you got Bollinger brought the pressure on the play. And we got a penalty on Hudson. That'll back him up another 5. That'll make it 3rd down and 37.
And they got rattled there. Hudson definitely was rattled. That caused that.
Yeah, Bollinger coming from the backside and created all kinds of havoc in the backfield. He's back in there, yeah.
Number 65, Jake Clapper, back in there. That's good to see for him.
Here's Judy. He'll look to throw, rolling right, looking deep. Flag on the play, and Judy will go down.
Not only go down, but I believe there's going to be a holding penalty called. Someone was grabbing one of the Grizzlies' jerseys.
Zach Wise, if the play stands, if the penalty is... Yep, that would have been his first sack of the season.
Big good turn events here. I mean, Hudson was in prime field position, and they've gone nothing but backwards ever since.
So Wadsworth will decline the penalty. Zach Wise gets credit for his first sack of the season. 14 seconds now left here in the third quarter, and what a stand by that Wadsworth defense.
They mashed that gas pedal to the floor there. Excellent job. When they needed it, they had to come up with it, and they did again.
And they'll take it to the end of the quarter, will the Explorers, and we'll go into the fourth quarter with the Grizzlies up 14-7.
Hey, and that brings entertainment, pure entertainment here, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, the great thing about these types of football games between programs like Wadsworth and Hudson, and we look forward maybe next week to Nordonia, is we sit around the TV on Sundays and we watch these guys get paid millions of dollars to play a kid's game, and you see these kids come out here and they're playing for the love of the game. They're putting the work in every single week. They're doing the work in the off season to get better in the weight room, to get stronger, to get faster.
Not only that, to love one of each other.
Yeah.
Because you don't play this hard as a unit if you don't love each other and respect each other. Because you're seeing each other work your tail off in the weight room and in the practice where no one sees this. That's not in practice in the weight room. No one sees that. That's not the glory. The glory is here on Friday night, and that's payoff for all the hard work.
And these guys are not only encouraging. This is not only for Wadsworth. I believe this is true among most programs. Is not only do they encourage each other once they're on the field or in practice, but when you're in the weight rooms and those tough times at 6 o'clock in the morning, and you're like, I really don't want to be here, right? Who wants to be in the weight room at 6 a.m.?
It's summertime. You could be on vacation or with your girlfriend or wherever the case may be. Yeah, absolutely. Hudson punts it away high, straight up punt. Takes a Grizzly bounce, comes back across the 45-yard line. Grizzlies will have the ball near the 48-yard line of the Explorers. Great field position, just like Hudson almost had last time. Well, I don't know what's going to happen next. But I do have some updates on the future Friday Night Lighters. 7th grade and 8th grade both beat Twinsburg this week, and then beat Painesville in back-to-back games, and freshmen ended up tying Hudson as well. So, again, there's a lot of bright future here, not only next year, which we got a lot of our talent back next year, but future of the Grizzlies look bright as well. A great program being built here, still being built. Madigan finally getting a little bit of running room, patient while his blockers set up, but picks up close to 7 yards on first down.
Yeah, this is fourth quarter. This is gut check time for this Grizzly offensive unit. Haven't been really tested all season long by opposing defenses. They are here tonight.
Madigan once again, but he's met right at the line of scrimmage. But then look at the pile move forward. After contact, he picks up a good yard after contact.
Andrew Lanham on first stick there for the Hudson Explorers on that defensive line. He's been working hard all night long. Along with he and Jake Clapper have done a good job thus far containing this Wadsworth running game, which in 11 of the last 12 games, they've put 200-plus yards of rushing in the books.
Reese Simmons, number 88, bottom of the screen. 2 at the top. Ernest in motion from right to left. Madigan gets the call again. Tries the right side behind Kaufman. And the Explorers are all over him. It takes 2 and 3 Explorers to take him down.
Inamorado first on the hit for Hudson, who actually brings him down. He's going to be short of the first down by about a half a yard, maybe a yard.
Brings up 4th and 1. Grizzlies are going for it. I do not believe there'll be any punting here. Madigan still in there behind Hall.
Dressler looking to bring some pressure off that left side of the Explorers.
Play clock down to under 8 seconds.
Here
Low
comes-
snap. Hall jumps on it, takes a loss. Turnover on downs. Explorers with the ball near where we started our offensive series, near the, looks like about the 43, 44.
Defense back on the field. Coach Todd says, all right, guys, let's move on. We got to play defense now.
Okay.
And you got to hold Hudson. They got the ball at the 43-yard line.
With 10:02 left in the game, all timeouts are on the board for both teams.
All turnovers are untimely, but that one will prove it here in a few minutes. Judy will give.
Nope,
He'll keep it. He'll be stacked up for a short gain on the play. Host of Grizzlies in there. Coming up there is Jude Haller, the freshman cornerback.
Gain of 3 on the play makes it 2nd down and 7 now for the Explorers.
Gain of 3, 2nd and 7 now for Hudson, as we are at 9:37 remaining in this football game. 2 receivers to the lower part of your screen. Here's pass, incomplete. On the coverage over there, looks like Tommy Hahn.
Yep.
Pass was intended for number 9.
Hahn was right there on the break, making sure if that was going to go in his hands, receiver's hands, he was going to knock it loose. Brings up a 3rd and 7.
Jaden Carlton, the intended receiver, the official was saying that ball was actually tipped at the line of scrimmage. Wind continues to howl here at our right. 2 receivers to the top, 2 to the bottom. Judy will look, throw, it's caught. Carlton with the reception and a 1st down for the Explorers. And here comes Hudson again.
There was pressure off the edge coming around. Looked like Bruce Paulzak for the Grizzlies, number 55, was going to get in there. Judy, releases it just in time, finds a wide open Hudson Explorer receiver.
I believe that was 6, wasn't it? Castellarin on the reception?
I believe it was, sir.
Ball now at the Grizzly 37-yard line for this Hudson offense, looking to tie this football game up as we're at 8:53 now in the 4th quarter remaining. Give us to Reno, and he'll be stopped for a gain of about 3 on the play. On the stop, there's Jacob Ernest.
Yep, number 6. This is where the defense needs to really give some
After a gain of 3, makes it 2nd down
some
and
heat to
7.
the Explorers. Try to cause a turnover.
Hudson comes out with twin receivers. To the left of Nathan Judy is Reno Ferry. You're good. Ferry's put together a pretty good second half here for the Explorers. Couple of big bursts up the middle. Quick throw out to the left side. Caught. 1st down, Hudson.
Chains will move. Ball will be down inside the Grizzly 25 somewhere.
Madigan on the stop for the Grizzlies from that free safety spot.
1st and 10 for the Explorers from the Grizzly 24-yard line.
The Explorers starting to find some rhythm here offensively. Really the first of the night for the most part.
Reno Ferry in the pistol behind Judy. 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Judy rolling right, looking, throwing, and it is out of bounds. Pass intended there for number 10, Kyler Boyle.
Troy Myers, number 3 for the Grizzlies, just putting all kinds of pressure
Out of bounds.
on Judy there. He was rolling right, just couldn't find anybody open. Grizzlies doing a great job in coverage.
2nd down and 10, now on the 24-yard line. 7:38 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Play clock down to 13 for the Explorers. Nathan Judy in the familiar shotgun. Reno to his left hip. 2 receivers to the top of your screen. Reno up the middle. And he'll be stopped for a short gain, and that will bring up 3rd down, Robert.
A big third down. It'll be a long third down, too. 3rd and 7, it looks like.
Jacob Ernest on the stop for Wadsworth defensively. Yeah, this is definitely 2-down territory for the Explorers offense.
And it's a must. You're not kicking 3.
No.
So
you might not get another shot to get this close.
Nope. Not with the Grizzlies defense.
Here we go. 3rd down and 7. 7:05 remaining. 2 receivers to the top, 2 to the bottom. Quick throw to the left. Ball's caught and good enough for a first down on that far sideline. Reception there is by number, is it 8 or 9?
I believe it was number 9.
And that's Jaden Carlton with a couple of receptions on this drive.
Pass complete to Jaden Carlton. 7.5 yards for an Explorer. First down
6:52 left in the game. Explorers down to the Grizzlies' 14-yard
line.
So they have 1st and 10, so they can pick up another first down yet. If they had to drive down, eating more clock.
Yeah, this is not like the Hudson offense that we've become used to seeing with rapid-fire offense. Here we go. Pass out here now to the left. Caught. And we got
definitely had holding, but no penalty flag.
Jude Holler on the stop for the Grizzlies. Bowden Ballinger also on the stop for Wadsworth.
It looked like there was some definitely holding by the receiver on one of the Grizzlies' defensive backs there, but no call. Brings up a 2nd and 9.
DeMalanta on the reception there for the Explorers.
So, Coach Tyler will kill me for saying this. Let's play devil's advocate here. Let's say Explorers score here. Do you go for 2?
If I'm Hudson, no. I kick the extra point. They have got a field goal kicker that can kick it from 40, 50 yards out. Here we go. Reno up the middle, cuts back. He's going to be stopped for a short gain on the play.
Yeah,
that'll bring up a 3rd down, and at the bottom of that pile.
PK, Troy Myers were there.
Troy Myers brought him down for
Troy Myers right in the middle was there first, and Kincaid came over the top. Bolzak was there as well. The front 3 being very, very active all night long.
Troy's got a tough assignment, right? He's going up against Parker Jenks, 6'1", 240 at the center position. And
we're giving up 40, 50 pounds across the front without a doubt.
3rd down and 8. Judy will look.
Has time. Now pressure.
Pressure coming, and it's jumped off to Reno Ferry. Touchdown, Hudson. No flag on the play.
Boy, okay. So they do score. 14-3, 5:02 left in the game. All important extra point here.
Well, what Reno Ferry does is he slips out of the backfield, and he's uncovered wide open, and Nathan Judy showing the patience back there, waiting for Ferry to get open, hits him, and we are 1 PAT from a tie football game. Mazziella, kick is up.
Kick is good. Tied all up. 14-all, 5:02. And they did a nice job. That snap was inside on the holder. He was able to grab it, pull it down, put it down, and kick was up and good. Wow. Wild second half.
Yeah, and Hudson has outscored Wadsworth 14 to 6?
14-8.
14-8. I beg your pardon. My math is bad. 14-8.
So
5:02 left.
But here we go. We have 5:02, 3 timeouts to drive down and score and win.
Inestrosa and McNeil back deep for the Grizzlies.
I believe every one of the kicks Hudson's kicked has been in the touchback tonight.
Yeah, the only one that hasn't been was the one that was fielded on the near sideline. It was
there was some
penalty.
disagreement, if it was out of bounds or not.
I will have to look up the official rule on that. But I'm sure the officials got it right.
They never make a mistake. But, it's not easy.
Ian Katz on the kick for Hudson.
If it was easy, everybody would be doing it, right?
Everyone would be wearing zebra stripes.
Kick is into the end zone. Grizzlies will take over on the 20. 5:02, 3 timeouts. Okay, who wants to be the hero?
I think as an offensive unit, you just continue to do what you have been doing, work together. But as we talked about at halftime, you've got to somehow get outside the edge with this Hudson defense. And
every time we have, we've had some success.
Yeah.
You got plenty of time. Just keep your composure, discipline, your fundamentals, and take it to them.
Well, it'll be interesting as the rain has subsided here at our right. Will Coach Todd pull out the passing package? Here we go. 1st and 10 from the 20. 5:02 left in this one.
Hand off the Lemp on the jet sweep. Hudson does a great job bottling it up. Lemp gets maybe 2-3 yards at the last minute. They're just diving forward.
Yeah, Nathan Coates coming in and making the stop for the Explorers, and he came from the backside backer position. He's an athlete, can fly. Great speed by Mr. Coates. 2nd down and 8.
Pitch out to Gray to the right. Short gain.
Yeah, I think he's got to extend that and get further outside. I think he's got more of a running lane once he gets around the edge.
Madigan checks in on 3rd down. 7 yards to gain to pick up a first. 2 receivers each side of the field for the Grizzlies. Almost got the Explorers to jump once again.
Yeah, Coates is showing blitz, so is Jenkins on the left edge.
Play calls in, play clock down under 10 seconds. Hall dropping deep, throws deep, intended to Reese Simmons, number 88, down the sideline, incomplete. Will bring up 4th down. And I believe you have to punt this away. There's no question about that.
Oh, yeah, there's no question you're going to kick this. And unfortunately, the wind is blowing left to right, so it's in the punter's face.
Hall is the punter, or would be. Yep, Hall's sliding back to punt this. Does get it off. Hits the turf. Makes a great Grizzly bounce. Down to the 26. Just down to the 25-yard line, where Hudson Explorers will take over with 3:36 left in the game with their 3 timeouts. Now, this is defense really has to step up and make sure no one scores here. Now, if we would get greedy, I would just like to have a pick 6 and just end this game and go home. But that may be greedy.
Yeah, the field goal range, you figure with the wind to Hudson's back, you want to get the ball to the 32-yard line.
Checked in when he's very good, but getting the ball back to the holder's been hard all night. So, that's something's got to be back in Coach Todd's mind as well.
Now, this could be a big win for Hudson, but they've got a ways to go here. 3:36 remaining in this one. Ball at the 26-yard line of the Grizzlies. 2 receivers to the top, 2 to the bottom. Nathan Judy looking for a game-winning drive. Throws. Ball's caught. 1st down, Hudson. Reception there by Jaden Carlton.
Nice job going up with the young man with his hands and catching that in air, pulling it in.
Now the coverage was good by the Grizzly defense. The ball was just perfectly placed. Ball now at the 44-yard line. And again, if you're Hudson, you're looking at around the 32, 33, 34-yard line for field goal range. Here's Judy looking to pass, looking right, throws incomplete.
Overshoots number 22. He was open, it just got over his head.
Luke Maddox in the area for the Grizzlies on coverage. That stops the clock with 3:05 remaining. Become a nail biter.
Yes, it has. Okay, same formation, just Reno to the left.
Judy rolling left, pressure coming. Pressure continues, ball is thrown and tipped and falls incomplete. Pass was intended there for number 9, Jaden Carlton. Too high for Carlton.
And Grizzlies, there's a lot of Grizzlies in red jerseys in hot pursuit of the young Explorer quarterback.
2:58 remaining, 3rd down and 10. Now, if you get into a 4th down situation, you got to kick it if you're Hudson.
Yeah.
Big 3rd down for this Grizzly defense. 2:58 remaining.
You can give up a first down, but do not give up a touchdown here. Whatever you do.
2 receivers to the top of your screen, 2 to the bottom. Ferry to the right of Judy.
Pressure coming.
Judy will throw. Reno caught. First down and more for the sophomore, breaking free on the right side. And Hudson keeps this drive alive with 2:51 remaining.
Comes out of that backfield, picks up a nice little pass over top. 250 and ticking on the clock. So the time is now against us, and Grizzlies, Explorers are marching. They're down to the Grizzlies 39.
3 receivers to the top of your screen, 2:30 left. Nathan Judy will give to Reno Ferry up the middle, and he's stopped.
Oh, it's still on his
he's still
feet.
on his feet. Reno Ferry to the 10, 5, stopped at the 3-yard line.
Wow. He looked like he went down, put his hand down, and it stayed up and scampered for another 30 yards.
Well, Hudson will use every second off of this play clock. The officials are having a discussion there at the 3-yard line as the clock has stopped here at Art Wright.
Is this a discussion? Did he put his knee down? Does not look like it. That's the only thing they could be discussing, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it certainly looked like he was down. They're going to talk about it.
Well, there must be some really consideration of this.
Well, nonetheless, it would be a first down. If they do move it back, it's a first down, and Hudson is in field goal range. And
yeah,
there it is. His knee's got to be down.
Typically, we would have a replay. We're having some technical difficulties tonight. You know, we're spoiled with the great work that our crew does, and John Bernard in the booth, but in the truck. But yeah, it looks like it's coming back. They are bringing it back, saying he was down at some point.
Now, this will be interesting where they mark him down. 2:15 left on the clock. Now, the question is, do you add time to the clock? I think if you're Coach Todd, you want to ask that question.
Yes. What do you think? 4 seconds? Maybe 5 seconds?
4 to 5 seconds at 5 at tops. But I think if you're Coach Todd, you're asking the question. I want 5 seconds back on the clock. First down and 10 now for Hudson on the 39-yard line of the Grizzlies.
Big turn of events here. Hudson doesn't agree with it.
2:32.
I believe the Grizzlies fans do agree with it.
They put more than 5 seconds on.
Okay. He's going to have to he's got to go over to the Hudson coach Goff and explain what's going on here.
Yeah, and rightfully so. If you're
Sure.
head coach Jeff Goff, you're like, hey, I need an explanation too. And if I'm Jeff Goff, I'm saying, I didn't hear a whistle. You know, and we're in the booth, we don't know if a whistle was blown, but you know, these kids are taught to play to the whistle. And he's not liking what
I don't know how
the official is.
I don't know what
is
you would say to
explaining.
make him like it.
Yeah. Jeff's done a great job with his Hudson Explorer program, and he's in his 9th season, 71-28 overall for the Explorers.
Okay. When we do resume, we'll be 2:32 on the clock. Both teams with 3 timeouts. Hudson looks like they'll have the ball at the Grizzly 28. Here we go. We're back in business here.
Clock will continue to run, and Coach Goff will likely run the play clock down as far as he can, and he is in field goal range.
You're looking at a 47-ish,
Yep, Masiella.
45-yard field goal attempt, if and when that would happen in swirling winds. Sometimes the flag is swirling.
And now we've got a whistle blown on the near sideline from the side judge, and they'll have a conference with the referee. First down and 10. This is, at some point, folks, we'll get on the same page. I promise. Yeah, so the clock went to 2:12. So what happened?
Is it a full moon out somewhere or that we don't know about? This has been a little strange.
Was that? There we go. 2:32. The clock is correct. 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line.
Okay.
Now we'll wind the clock.
Grizzlies defense got a breather. They're ready to go.
Boy, Reno Ferry has had a tremendous second half.
Yes, he has.
And so has a couple of those receivers. Here we go. Trips to the left. Judy. Hands off. Inside. No, he's going to keep it. He escapes a tackle. Then he's going to be dragged down from behind by Sean Kincaid.
That was Boldinger for Wadsworth coming in number 35. Almost had to tackle for a loss, for a sack. Judy breaks that tackle. Somehow he gets back to the line of scrimmage, they say.
Yeah, maybe a half yard. 2nd down and 10. Scoreboard reads no gain on the play. 1:45 left in this one.
So they're definitely playing for the field goal. They're setting it up, getting the ball, trying probably in the middle of the field.
Clock continues to run. 1:32. We're going to take a timeout. I believe Hudson will call timeout.
As you look at the flag is limp, but you're still getting a swirling breeze through up here in the press box.
Defensively, I mean, you've got to play it as though it's 1st down. We can see what Hudson is doing. They're going to try and run this clock down or run it up the middle, get their field goal team in good position with 1:26 now remaining in regulation here in the 4th quarter. And boy, this has really turned into a battle, one that we did expect, but Wadsworth has made so many mistakes here in the second half, and even those in the first half, which really kept maybe 14 points off the board.
Yes, I agree. Absolutely. We've relied on the defense all night, all season as well. This is big here. If we can somehow forge a way to stop this and get it in overtime.
You got to make sure the tackle, you can't go for creating and causing a turnover and letting the tackle go and then they get into the end zone. You got a short tackle, my friend.
Hold on till your teammates get there and help them bring them down.
Zach Wise.
Troy Meyer.
Yeah. Here we go. Judy will keep it himself, run left side, and
still on his feet.
Going to be stopped for a short gain on the play. That'll bring up 3rd down, and the clock will continue to run. A gain of about 3 on the play. 2nd down, 3rd down and 7. 1:13 remaining.
Coach Todd calls a timeout.
So 3rd and 7. If you are Hudson, you take one shot at the end zone.
I want 5 more yards. I just want 5 more yards.
Okay.
You know your kicker. We saw the kicker kicking into the wind for 50 yards earlier tonight.
And fortunately for Hudson, the rain stopped.
Yes, it has stopped.
That's a safe play call for Hudson on the quarterback keeper.
Yep. Yeah, you're not exchanging the handoff. Judy's getting some yardage right now. So you ask your kicker where you want it. You try to get another 3-4 yards. He has the leg. And we've seen it done by Hudson to us in the past.
One time is too often if you're part of Grizzly Nation.
Yes.
Bowden Bollinger, Jacob Ernest, Zach Wise, Polchak, Sean Kincaid, Troy Meyer, Calix Lemp, Jude Haller, and Gavin Madigan.
Yep. Tommy Hahn, number 13. Looking to come up with some big play here.
Coach Todd calling that timeout to preserve time.
Yep.
Coming out of the timeout.
Under center.
Hudson will just down this.
Yep, he's just under center.
Under center. He gets the 5 yards that you're talking about. And Wadsworth will call a timeout. That'll bring up 4th down, and Hudson will bring on their field goal unit. They are short of the 1st down, 4th and 3. Ball placed at the 21-yard line. 38-yard attempt forthcoming here by the senior kicker, Brad Masiella.
It looks like about a 38-yard field goal attempt. 1:11 left in the game.
Well, we've seen the weather conditions obviously different now than earlier in the game, but we've seen some bad snaps here tonight.
Yes.
And you have to wonder, you've got one timeout. Do you ice the kicker, or you got to save that timeout?
You save the time.
Yeah, you got to save it.
Save the time, in my opinion. Saved it, but you bring all kinds of heat here. You bring the house. I mean, Hudson's had some bad long snaps, trying to punt it tonight earlier. You never know what's going to happen. Put a little pressure.
Polchak, who's got great reach, he's going to be down in a down tackle position.
Holder is number 18, which we do not have on the roster. Here it is.
Mazziella lines up for a 38-yard field goal attempt. Snap is back, hold is down, kick is up, it is no good.
Wide right.
Grizzly defense holds with 1:07 remaining.
Wow. That was a little bit of a high snap.
Look at the wind now as the wind continues to swirl here at our right and push that ball, if ever so slightly, past the right upright.
So the Grizzlies will take over on the 21. They have one timeout left, minute 7 left in the game.
Yeah, they'll be on the 20-yard
yes,
line,
yep.
1st and 10. One timeout, yes.
You're going to try to get a couple first downs before you try to do anything deep, I would have to think. Get some momentum, and or not. If you can't get anything, go in overtime.
You've got to get to the 25-yard line to be in field goal range, so long field in front of you if you're Wadsworth.
Hall rolls left, throws. Incomplete, intended for Reese Simmons, in and out of his hands.
Yeah, this is big. You've got to get a first down, though. You can't leave any time on the clock here for Hudson in the current position because you don't have a guy that can punt the ball 35, 40 yards.
And Hudson still has 2 timeouts.
Yeah.
So that, down to minute 2, only took 5 seconds off the clock.
How big was that call reversal by the officials on that run by Reno Ferry?
Huge. And I'd love to be able to see a replay of that to see what it really was. There's the draw play to Cooper. Was that Cooper Gray? Madigan.
Hudson trying to wrestle the ball away from the junior running back, and Wadsworth will call a timeout. Oh, I beg your pardon.
Madigan with both hands over the ball, making sure no one strips him from it.
Hudson calls the timeout.
Hudson timeout.
So now you're at 3rd down and 5.
It's going to be very important to pick up this first down on 3rd down. You're not going to go for it on 4th down. You're going to punt it. But that's giving them time on the clock.
3rd down and 5. I know you're deep in your own territory. I've only seen it once this year. We did it at Twinsburg. We did a screenplay. Middle screen. It worked to perfection. I don't know if you do that here. It's a danger. If you do it, you gotta get it in the ground. If it's not there, or throw it away.
We've been impressed with how composed Hall has been all season. It's a lot of pressure right now. A lot of pressure. Game's on the line.
Game reset here. 53 seconds remaining. One timeout each team. It is 3rd down and 5 for the Grizzlies at their own 25-yard line.
Empty backfield. Now we have Madigan in motion. Swings out to Madigan. Madigan with the first down and out of bounds. Tackled way out of bounds. No penalty flag?
No flag on the play. .47 seconds left in this one, and that was a good play call. Madigan just comes out of the backfield and crosses in front of the
so
line.
hard to cover him in that. So we have 4 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Hall looking to throw, now pulls it down, then running, looking to get out of bounds. Ran out of bounds near the 35, 34-yard line.
They're still 40 yards away from field goal range.
With 41 seconds left in the game. Both teams with the timeout. Brings up 2nd and 10. Madigan to the right of Hall currently. Hall going to roll right. Throws right. Incomplete. Cannot make out the intended receiver there.
It's like McNeil.
McNeil, number 14. Brings up 3rd and 10, 36 seconds left in the ball game.
We don't have a number 40 for Hudson on the roster, but he is giving Jordan Jones all he can handle there on the right end.
Madigan to the right of Hall. Ernest in H-back formation. Hall rolling right. He's got pressure. Throws back across the body. Caught, but immediately tackled by the Hudson Explorers for no gain.
Yeah, that's Cavalcanti, Joe Cavalcanti, the junior linebacker on the stop for the Explorers.
Ernest with the catch. They're trying to get him out of the H-back formation, slide him out into the open sideline, and well covered by the Explorers.
Now you got 4th and 9 in your Wadsworth. Hudson is out of timeouts.
You have to get your best punt off here of the night.
And wind continues to swirl here, and difficult field position. 24 seconds left. There are some Wadsworth Grizzly cheerleaders braving the elements tonight in the rainwear.
What was we learned a couple weeks ago about the cheerleader and coach? And she makes them stay out in the rain. What was that? She says she has to be out in the rain. They're going to be in the rain.
Yeah, absolutely right. Right.
That was the last game we were here. It was pouring rain. We ended up having to help the cheerleading coach take her tent and stuff back to the car. And here we go. 4th and 9, 27 seconds left in the game, 14 all tie. Grizzlies with 1 timeout left, Hudson with none. Gets the punt away, Hall does. Gets to near the 30. You kind of just didn't really want to let that touch that. You just want the play clock to go, but it was touched.
Yeah, you just want to let the official blow the whistle, let the ball sit there, no need to touch it, 19 seconds left.
Hudson will take over on the 30 with no timeouts. So I think you're going to live for another down. It's hook and ladder or go for overtime.
I think you go for overtime at this point. You got 19 seconds left. You've had a terrific second half if you're Hudson. Scoreless in the first half. You've outscored the Grizzlies 14-8 here in the second half. And here we go. Judy is going to be in the shotgun as the wind kicks up here at our right. Reno Ferry to his left. 2 receivers to the top of your screen. 2 to the bottom. Judy looking, throwing, left side. Pitch caught by Castellan. Louis.
Chains will move. 14 seconds left.
Yeah, I think Wadsworth's going to give that to them.
Yes. They'll give them 10 yards each time here. You got maybe 3 plays at most doing that. And figure 5 seconds each time off the clock. Just keep everything in front of you.
1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. Twins to the top, twins to the bottom, and we've got a timeout, Wadsworth.
That will be our last timeout. 14 seconds left.
Yeah, this is sure tackling. No need to go for creating the turnover, unless it's an interception, of course.
Absolutely. The whole different ball game if you can get a pick 6, but you can't go for it unless you know you're going to either catch it or knock it down.
Right, don't get beat.
Do not think you're going to be the hero. You got to make sure you either catch it or knock it down. A good picture of Mr. Lucky, number 61 for the Grizzlies.
Offensive line, who's done a great job all season long, and we talk about the limited rushing yards in this football game, but there's been a battle up front between the offensive and defensive lines of both programs here tonight. It's been a great football game to be part of.
not the high-scoring affairs that we're kind of used to by the Grizzlies, but hey, this is good, hard-nosed football. You almost expect to see grass out there. Hard-nosed as this has been played tonight.
Blood on the white pants, right? Yeah, that's a hard-fought football game. Here we go. First down and 10 from the 41-yard line. 14 seconds left to go. Nathan Judy looking to pass, looking over the middle, looking left, lets it go, and it's deflected by Calix Limp.
Nice job getting his left hand over the receiver and knocking that ball away.
Yeah, nice job by the safety. He comes over, turns his head, finds the football, and with great technique, knocks the ball away. Now we have 8 seconds remaining in this one. Second down and 10 now for Hudson. Looks like we're going to go.
Reno very leaked out, and there was nobody covering him in the middle after you leaked out.
Trip to the lower part of your screen. Ferry to the right of Judy. Ferry sneaks out of the backfield again, but this time it is Sean Kincaid on a missed tackle, and Ferry will be stopped.
Yes.
As time expires, and we are going to overtime here at Art Wright. Ferry gets up a little gingerly after that. Well, he's had a tough football game, the young man.
Yes. He's ran really hard here in the second half, finding a little bit of room here and there. Here we go.
First overtime contest of the season for both programs.
So they get the ball on the opponent's 20. Is that not correct?
Yep, they'll get the ball on the 20-yard line.
And then if they score, their opponent gets the chance to score as well, to match or go for
match or beat. Yeah.
Yep. Now we're allowed 3 overtimes now. Is that how? I can't remember how many total you're allowed to have, but would rotate back and forth.
Well, let's win it in one.
Let's win it in one.
We'll win it in the first overtime, and this has been a great football game. We looked at this on paper earlier this week, and we got a chance to look at some of the comments from the coaching staff about this Hudson team, and this has proved to be a formidable opponent.
Absolutely.
And the first time this Grizzly team has been tested all season, and to be frank with, I think they've done a great job. We've had a couple of mistakes due to weather, slippery turf.
Absolutely.
A wet football, what have you. It hasn't been a perfect game, but this defense has played outstanding all
What was that stat
long.
earlier in the game?
28 yards in the first half.
Giving up on 26 plays? That was incredible. Now Hudson's got a little bit of movement in the second half.
Well, we had both coaches going in at halftime. Both coaches very smart football guys, and they make the adjustments that they need to make, right?
Yes.
And Wadsworth comes out in the opening drive of the third quarter, and they put it in the end zone, and Hudson responds to that. And so here we are. Yep. We find ourselves tied.
Now this is where you also have to play perfect. No penalties, no turnovers, no negative plays.
And this is, if you win the coin toss here, you want to defer.
Yes, you want to defer. So you have the option to know what you have to match, if you have to match.
So out there representing the Grizzlies, big number 54, Brady O'Connor.
One of our good offensive linemen for the Grizzlies.
Yep. Looks like big 74 out there for Hudson. That's Jackson Babisky.
Looks like Hudson has won the toss, and looks like they have deferred.
So Wadsworth will go to the south end zone. And we are set for a great overtime finish in this one.
There will be no play clock, correct? No, actually, it is just a score.
Correct.
Yeah,
no clock.
No clock, I should say.
No clock, yep. Play clock, yes.
I don't think it's going to happen tonight because
So Madigan, Hall, Ernest, all check in. The offensive line of Jordan Jones, Brady O'Connor, Merritt Fortner at center, Gabe Lucky, and Eli Kaufman check in, looking to try to do some damage here now to the Explorers. Try to get the Grizzlies into the end zone.
You got Anthony Palucci on the near side on coverage with Frank McNeil of the Grizzlies.
3 receivers to the top of the screen. Ernest is inside. It looks like Ernest and Wise are out there, if I see that right.
That is correct. Ernest Wise and Reese Simmons wide to the left.
Madigan in the backfield. Hall looking to throw quickly off to the right. He has some running room. A great tackle by the Hudson Explorer after about a 4-yard gain. He looked like he was going to pick up more than that. But is there some dirty laundry on the field?
Yeah, there's a hold on the play, and that's going to push the Grizzlies back. This is not what you want on this first play in overtime against this Explorer team, which has played very well in the second half.
Lemp is checked in. Number 7.
So Zach Wise will check out.
That's a 10-yard penalty. He's going to bring up 1st and 10 again, correct?
Yeah, it'll be 1st and 20.
Oh, I'm sorry, 20, I'm sorry. I would prefer 1st and 10, but.
Now the middle's wide open if we can get there, if we can get over the top.
Madigan with the carry right up the middle. He picks up 10 on 1st down. He's going to bring up 2nd and 10.
Gavin Madigan, the ball carrier. Moves the ball up to the
Yeah, Hudson
20-yard
defensively left the middle wide open for us, but
Big number 66, Eli Kaufman right there on the right. Hudson showing blitz or responding to the Hall's cadence. There we go, Madigan to left of Hall. 2 receivers top of the screen. Hall's going to roll left. Throw to the end zone. He has a receiver there. Step. Touchdown, Grizzlies.
Calix Lemp finds his way back to the end zone after missing it last week, ending that 4-game streak. And what a play by Bryson Hall, the freshman, and Calix Lemp pulling it in.
The all-important extra point here. It's been a struggle all night for us here. Smeltzer, number 20 for the hold. Jack Dinwiddie here for an extra point attempt. A very crucial extra point attempt. Snap is back. Kick is up. It is a low kick. It is good, though.
It is good.
It was not the greatest thing we've seen, but hey, point is a point. Grizzlies up 21-14. Now, Hudson Explorers will get the ball at the 20, and they get the chance to score. Now, they have to score, put 7 on to go over the second overtime, or go for 2.
Yeah, I don't know if they would go for 2, but we'll soon find out. I think you play this thing through as far as you can as this Grizzly sideline tries to get this home crowd into this football game. 1st down and 10 from the 20-yard line.
And Nostroza runs in here late. He's up to the top of the screen, covering one of the Trips receivers.
3 receivers to the left, Trips, and we've got Reno Ferry left of Nathan Judy, who's had an outstanding second half. And this crowd here at Art Wright on their feet, putting their hands together for this Grizzly defense.
Can this defense make a huge stand once again?
Yeah, this Wadsworth team looking to go 6-0 on the season. Ferry cuts it to the left, and he's going to be stopped for no gain on the play. On the stop, the junior, Gavin Madigan.
Thankfully, he did go down, because if not, there was a lot of green around that edge.
2nd down and 10 for the Explorers. They'll come Trips right. Reno Ferry to the right of Nathan Judy.
Judy's been effective running the ball, too, tonight, up the middle here.
Yes, he has. He's done a great job of reading the blocks and reading what our backers are doing, and he'll pull it out and keep it. And he's been very effective on the ground. This time he's going to look to throw over the middle. Ball is incomplete. On the coverage is Inestrosa.
one of the Grizzlies popped the receiver just as the ball came in. I can't quite tell if it was Inestroza or Madigan or who.
Pass was intended for Anthony Palucci, the sophomore. 3rd down and 10 now for the Explorers. Crowd still on their feet at Art Wright, supporting this Grizzly D.
We've seen a fantastic game here tonight.
Twins, receivers, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Judy looking left, looking middle, will tuck it, will run it, and he's going to be dragged down at about the 16-yard line.
Yes.
4th down and about 6.
Hudson has to go for it. They have to pick the first down up, or the game is over, or score. Only 2 options you get right here.
21-14 the Grizzlies with a touchdown in the first overtime, and Hudson will call a timeout, and the Grizzly D will talk about it. Coach, what are you talking to your unit about right now? It's 4th and 6.
Timeout, Hudson.
Keep your composure. Know your assignment. Keep your eyes on your assignment. Don't be peeking in the backfield. What do you do? Do you call blitz here? Do you go after Judy?
No, I think you got to be very disciplined and don't jump off sides, right?
Yep.
And I agree with everything that you've just said, but I think you've just got to stay within yourself and play the football game, because you can't get beat on the blitz with
Yes.
Reno Ferry.
Absolutely true. Your defense has played lights out for the most part all year, and great this game. So do what you got. Got you here.
So here we go.
Number.
And folks, this is just the 2nd home game of the year. This is going to get better next week.
Nordonia coming in here undefeated. We know that
yes.
Right now. They'll be 6-0 when they come in here. Hopefully the Grizzlies will be matching that with a 6-0.
Yes, be careful of a draw play here. Here we go. 4th down and 6. This is the game for the Explorers. Trips to the left. Single receiver down to the right. Reno Ferry to the left of Judy. Judy looks left, throws. It is incomplete. No flag on the play. The coverage by Inestroza. And the Grizzlies escape with a 21-14 victory over the Explorers of Hudson. How about that?
Incredible game. Hard fought both ways. Grizzlies were tested here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't a perfect game. It wasn't great weather. I think my coach used to, you win some, you lose some. Some get rained out. You got to dress for them all. Boy, you had to do it all here tonight.
Well, not only were they tested, my friend, but they passed that test tonight, 21-14. They didn't play well in the first. They played well enough in the first half. Had a lot of mistakes that they had to clean up. And the good news is this is a resilient football team. They didn't give in to the Explorers.
Absolutely not. And I said earlier in the game, it's going to come. They're going to get punched in the mouth. It's going to how they're going to settle themselves, and they did. It was a tough game, without a question. Got to be very proud of how the boys responded. You know, like you said, wasn't clean, but hey, come out with a victory. You're 6-0 against a very, very good quality team that, hey, we could see again in the playoffs.
We very well could see them in the playoff. Now, Wadsworth will control their own destiny. They are 6-0 on the season. They'll take on a 6-0 Nordonia Knights team, and many would look at them and say, hey, they're the team to beat in the Suburban League this year.
Yes, absolutely. They're sitting 2nd in the Region 6 in the computer points right now. Obviously, we want their points. We need their points. Avon's sitting there number 1. Avon's probably going to run the table and be undefeated. So it's all about those positioning to get in the region, and that's so important. Nordonia, we wonder, have they been tested?
They will be next week.
Will be next week. We were tested tonight. You know, we weren't sure what we got, and we know Hudson was a well-coached team. Coach Todd can't be prouder of his boys. Young men, way to fight, never give up. Hey, now you know what your team's made of.
What a football game here tonight at Art Wright. The final in overtime. The Grizzlies 21, the Explorers 14. For John Bernard downstairs making this all work for us, and our camera crew up on top of Art Wright Stadium and our field camera, for John Bernard and for Robert Rickenbacker. Have a good night, Wadsworth.
Good night, all.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.